You want to say hi? Okay, hold on. Let me fix this. Ooh, at least the loose cough. Huh? The loose cough. Yeah. What? I don't have a wipe. I don't want to remove authorization. You want to watch the show? You want YouTube? You want to watch a show? You want to watch Peppa Pig? You want to watch Peppa? Yeah. Watch Peppa Pig on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Peppa Pig. What?
Is it puppy?
That's David.
Huh?
That's David.
Do you remember when I had dinner with you? When we had dinner with Kevin?
You remember?
You had cherries.
Oh, many cherries.
Oh
Hey,
no!
come here. Hey, come here. Come here. Say hi. Yeah, come here. Oh,
Your Facebook widget just died.
look right there.
Huh?
I just fixed it.
Is it hi?
Look right there. Say hi. Right there.
Huh?
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm joining Dada today. Yeah, at least for a little bit. Have a kiss? Hey, can I have a kiss? Mwah. All right, go watch
Come sit over here.
your video. Go with David. There you go, honey. Thanks, bud.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Turn you up. Yeah, make sure you're actually turned up and not.
You know, priorities and stuff. She looks like my mom, actually. She looks like Grandma quite a bit.
You did a good show, guys.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Did you thank him? Did you say thank you?
Yep.
All right, good girl. All right.
I think we're going to go about a minute later.
Okay.
So I'll put a minute on ad playing. We have a Jewel ad and a last one.
Alrighty.
Howard Bailey Financial does not offer tax or legal advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
The
What's
average
that?
smoker tries to quit up to 30 times. Many are looking for an alternative. Juul uses
Yeah,
advice
you missed it, but you can go back.
to be a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Juul is a vapor product that contains nicotine for a satisfying
Well, that's a
transition.
good way to get more subscribers.
34 million adults who smoke know that there is
Well,
an alternative to cigarettes.
When Bree used to do my promos for me,
That's Juul.
dude, people would call in the next day, all day, be like, that was the greatest thing ever. Because Bree would be like, what are we gonna talk about tomorrow? And Bree'd be like, poop. It's like, okay, that's what we're doing.
62 million jobs
only matches you with qualified candidates who have skills and experience.
Yeah, Frank Robinson did die. So we got Massey today, and then we got Robinson. Great.
Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
Frank Robinson is a legendary baseball player. He's the first black manager, actually.
Oh.
All right, what's up, everybody? Here we go. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364, and please put MNC at the beginning of that message. I do want to thank our sponsor, Second Amendment Arms and Range, located in New Carlisle. If you mention me, you get half off your range time. And you will also Get 10% off in the store and listener-exclusive discounts on firearms. Again, you got to mention me to get all of that. So go to secondamendmentarms.net for more information about that. All right, so do we want to talk about the Green New Deal or what? I mean, we might as well, right? We knew it was coming. We had kind of an idea of what it was going to be. Basically, if you are a 13, maybe 14-year-old kid who has just been awakened to the possibility of, or not even the possibility, the world of politics and ideologies and things like that, and somebody were to feed you the best potential future of humankind via socialism, and you are gullible enough to believe it, that's what this is. And the Green New Deal, which again, this is the thing, socialism sounds really good on paper. It's never practical. And that's always the problem. Like I said, a lot of people forget that some of the first settlers in the New World tried socialism and failed. Okay. And we've kind of never gone back because we understood that if you don't, this is kind of like the Panera Bread thing we talked about yesterday. Human beings will get away with doing the least amount of stuff that they can do so long as they can meet their basic comforts, right? So if you can meet your needs and your basic comforts, you will do as little as possible to be able to do that. Very few people are motivated to go beyond that. Very few people in this world are driven to be successful. And that's why most people hate their jobs. Most people hate their jobs because they don't like work. And that's why the people who do like work frequently will neglect their families. Now, their mentality is they're providing for their families, although they frequently are doing excess, but they become very successful because they work very long hours. People decry the rich all the time. I don't know a rich person that doesn't work 12 to 14 hours a day. I've never met one. All of the wealthy people that I know are constantly working. Now, I do know some low-income people that work that way too, but they're not driven to succeed. They take no risks. They're just trying to get the guaranteed paycheck, that sort of thing. There's drive to provide the necessities. There's no drive to excel. And it's not a dig. I mean, some people are not built that way, and that's fine. For many, many years, I was one of those people. I just wanted my guaranteed income. I knew that my bills were paid, and that's what I wanted to do. The older I got, the more family came into it, the more I realized that's not enough. It's not what I want. And so I started risking things. And so far, most of my risks have paid off. Some of them haven't. Some are still in progress, but most of them have paid off. And a lot of people get to that point. That's why you see a lot of people when they're adults go back to school to study something and things like that. They just realize, you know what, the path that I was on that was comfortable for just me, I got a family now. All of a sudden, I'm looking at funding retirement, the future, that sort of thing. Guess what? It's not good enough anymore. I need to have more. Don't need to be wealthy, don't need to be rich, but I need to be comfortable. And so that's what people are kind of, striving to do at this point. So if you look at this thing, it was Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez who released the overview of the Green New Deal. The New Deal itself, by the way, was largely a disaster. Of course, revisionist history ignores that. So the Green New Deal is a massive transformation of our society, unquote, right? So here's how it starts off. You ready? Rebuild every single building in the U.S. Now, a sane, logical person at that point would stop reading and go, okay, she's crazy. Because they know how unrealistic that actually is. Now, the idea is to go ahead and upgrade or replace every building in the U.S. for state-of-the-art energy efficiency. All right. There's a mandate in England to do that. They went with energy efficient materials. And you remember that big fire on that building that killed all those people? Was it last year or the year before? That was because of the new standards. It was energy efficient. Now, the fire department and fire experts all over the world have been warning against using this material, which was cheap, environmentally friendly, that sort of stuff, energy efficient, all of that. But they ignored all of the fire warnings about how much of a hazard it was. They used this material and it trapped all of those people in that building, and a bunch of people died as a result of it. Okay. It was a horrendous sight. It was absolutely awful. We were all glued to the TV watching this thing. And we found out a short time later that it was government regulations with new environmental protocols that actually push that material being used, in spite of the fact that fire experts all over the world had told everybody not to use this stuff because of it being a fire hazard. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't energy efficient options that wouldn't do that. But the problem is that sometimes you run a little bit too fast at a new sector because you want to promote it. And there's nothing wrong with promoting energy efficiency, right? I think most people like energy efficiency just for the simple fact that we're selfish people and we don't want to pay as much in power bills and gas bills and things like that. And that's a good motivation, by the way. There's nothing wrong with being selfish that way. Then it goes on to the next thing. We'll end all traditional forms of energy in the next 10 years. Cool. How? I'm waiting. Okay. Solar can't handle the load. Wind is inefficient and wind is dirty. Hydro is not everywhere. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You've got fossil fuels, you've got natural gas, and you have nuclear. All of which environmentalists are opposed to, in spite of the fact that nuclear is still the cleanest form of energy that we have ever created for mass populations. Okay. So what are you going to replace it with? She has no idea. She's got no clue. So we would have to develop brand new technology that has never been developed before and implement it nationwide in a decade. Again, not realistic. This is how you know you're dealing with somebody who's not mature enough, not intelligent enough to understand what is happening. She's an idealist. I'll give her that. And to an extent, there's nothing wrong with being an idealist, but at some point, realism has to come in and has to start taking over. So the very next thing, okay, we want to end all traditional forms of energy in the next 10 years. So the very next thing, ban nuclear energy within 10 years if possible. So the very next thing is to ban nuclear energy, which again is the only thing that could save all of this. So we'll continue on the list here in just a couple of minutes. Got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3.
You're fine. I still think we can hear. He's okay. It doesn't matter if it is. Bye.
Home comfort experts, heating specialists, 5-day forecast.
Scattered showers in our forecast today with temperatures
Right
going
back,
up
folks.
to about 54 degrees. It could even have a couple rumbles of thunder at times, which may hold some gusty winds. We'll have temperatures, though, plummet for tonight. Down to 16 degrees and continuing to fall from there into Friday morning. We're going to talk some windy conditions for tonight, and that's going to make it feel even colder for tomorrow. Our temperature is going to feel closer to below zero temperatures during the day. Could have an isolated snow shower or two, but overall most areas are going to stay pretty quiet with partly cloudy skies. For Saturday, we'll be mostly sunny with temperatures right around 24 degrees. Temperatures dropping back down to 16 overnight. And then for Sunday, we're back right around freezing with a high of 32 and a chance for snow. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Kennedy.
Personal growth is the continuous process of developing and understanding yourself to achieve your full potential. At Bethel College, we recognize the busy demands on life and take an integrated, faith-based approach to personal growth. Bethel is where students realize that your faith life and your work life don't have to be separate. Adults, finish your degree and earn your MBA while focused on your personal and spiritual growth at Bethel College. Start with a transfer-friendly approach and find credits for prior learning and even work experience. Set yourself up to finish faster and save money. Add adult classes only one night a week and finish courses in only 7 weeks. That's only 7 classes per course. Make the personal connection on campus and the small class sizes with individual attention and connect with the professors that take active roles as community and industry leaders in our area. With bachelor's, master's, and online programs, personal growth is Bethel College. Apply today online at bethelcollege.edu.
Come out.
Give us a kiss. You heard that right. We're asking you for a kiss. The 4th annual Pucker Up contest. You don't have to turn on that Then lend us your lips for a chance to win a $200 shopping spree plus a surprise Valentine's gift. You can see all the store has to offer, from the little black dress to the knockout gowns. All the latest designer styles from Dress.
Uh-oh. You got people talking about edibles.
Ready for Valentine's Day, but not
sure what shade of red is just right.
They were also talking
Just
about
ask
Harper's.
for a specially trained associate.
Did they?
Beauty Group. You can get a different color
She wasn't
style.
upset. She was excited to see Mom.
Necessary.
And then I think Mom was pulling her away from her video, and she was like, "No, I want to see my video."
Mom just handed me the iPad, like, take care of it. I'm like, okay.
You can win one or win
That's my life.
to win. See stores for the official details and pucker up.
Angry commands.
Beauties. It's the best brands for the best you. With locations in Granger, LaPorte, and now.
Joe says he doesn't want kids.
Hi, I'm Dr.
And one, you're 18, right? He's 18, you shouldn't want kids, but I also told 80% of parents also about 60, 70% of the time don't want kids. We love them dearly, but holy smokes, are they a lot of work? They're actually less work. It's weird because like the type of work is just replaced with a different type of work. So I think they're really easy 0 to 1. And then like 1 to 4, especially 3. Oh my God. Oh, CBD, not edibles. Got it.
All right. No, we did not harm a child in the studio. People are asking. My daughter was with me. Wife came and picked her up in the middle of the segment, and I think she was a little upset about being pulled away from the tablet and YouTube videos. So she's fine. Everything's good. All right. Nothing nefarious is happening. People on the live stream got to see Harper on the live stream before the show today. All right. 574-2595. 95.3. That is 2595-953. You know, Valentine's Day is coming up, and I suppose you could do the thing that everybody does and get some flowers, right? There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Flowers are cool. Don't get me wrong. But your Valentine's special, right? Isn't that the whole point? Your significant other is worth a little bit more than just some flowers, and if you have the ability to, why not get them something that is as unique and amazing as they are? They're one of a kind. Get them a piece that's a one of a kind from Impress Jewelry Creations. They've got this amazing line that they have started to manufacture themselves in-house, and it is just some of the most stunning pieces that you could ever think of. In fact, there was a piece that when I was in there the other day, and I was talking to them about getting my wife's ring fixed, they showed me this beautiful necklace, and it had, I guess you would call it a pendant on there, and it was like a triangle, and they were telling us the story behind this thing. Somebody come in, and they wanted their kids' names on it, but they had 3 kids instead of just 2. And so what they did is they took this flat piece and they said, let's make it a triangle. And they made it a triangle, and it freely twirls around the necklace, and it's just stunning. It's an absolutely beautiful piece. And now you can engrave all of the names of your children or your loved ones on there. And then in the future, it can actually serve as a place to store ashes if somebody were to pass away. So in this particular case, we're talking about their kids and but they said, we just figured, hey, other people out there are going to want to pay homage to their loved ones and everything else, and then, be able to carry them with them in the future, which is just a beautiful sentiment. They've just got so many amazing things over there. You got stuff made with materials that you can only get in one place on Earth. Some of those mines are getting ready to close. You'll never be able to get these materials again. But if you go to Impress Jewelry Creations, you'll be able to get them. So go to Impress Jewelry Creations. Let them know that I sent you. Pick out the perfect Valentine's Day gift from really just one of the most amazing selections I've ever seen. So Impress Jewelry Creations, they're located in University Plaza, University Park Drive. They're right next to the Temper Grill and C. Kramer Interiors. And again, just let them know that I sent you. It's an amazing place. Just pop in and say hello. All right. So we're talking about the Green New Deal. So Green New Deal starts off pretty silly. It says rebuild every single building in the U.S. Okay, that's dumb. Next, end all traditional forms of energy in the next 10 years, which of course begs the question, what do we replace it with? And the answer is they don't know. And the next thing after that, because nuclear is the biggest, cleanest mass energy solution that we have, the next thing right after get rid of all traditional forms of energy is to get rid of nuclear. Okay. I guess we could go back to candles and stuff, but candles aren't very environmentally friendly. So I don't know exactly what we're going to do, folks. Anyway, Roger, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing, Keith?
I'm doing well, man. What's on your mind?
Well, I was just going to say, as an example, it would be the same as a 3 or 4 year old saying, "Hey, we need to get rid of all the automobiles."
Yeah.
Because the tricycle is a lot safer and it doesn't spew carbon. He doesn't understand the implications of it.
Correct.
So immature.
Well, and that's, I'm glad you brought this up, because this is the thing that everybody is kind of talking about today. The very next thing on the list is to build trains across the oceans to end all air travel. I mean,
isn't it pretty crazy?
How long do you think it's going to take to build trains all the way across the oceans to every location? It's going to take a long time, right? And I'm assuming, Roger, you're going to need some fossil fuels to get that done, right?
Well, a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think it can be done in 10 years. That's for sure.
It's hard to understand why people, this younger generation, can't see what's going on.
They don't understand. And here's the thing. I go back to an inconvenient truth. Okay, this is a movie that was made by a guy who doesn't know much about climate science, who himself has a long record of polluting. Okay. This is a guy who admitted his movie was overly inflated guesses that had nothing to do with real science, because even the pro-global warming scientific community said what he was saying was outlandish. And he was asked by George Stephanopoulos, he goes, look, even they're saying that your predictions here are way out of line for what is being predicted. And he goes, he said this in the interview. People forget this. He goes, well, we don't know. We just don't know, George. Okay, so then it's not a documentary. It's a fear-mongering film is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But they were required to show this in many schools. So a lot of these people who are now just old enough to be able to serve in Congress, like Cortez, they grew up with that sort of mentality. They weren't shown the companion counterpoint film, The Great Global Warming Swindle. They weren't shown that. They weren't told about Climate Gate 1 or 2, where we caught the scientists fudging the numbers. They don't talk about this. So they think that all of this stuff is real, and they don't understand the science behind it. They don't understand the politics behind it, and they get caught up in this fantasy land.
Well, Casey, thanks for doing the job you're doing out there, making people aware, and just call and thank you for that.
I'll do my best, man. I appreciate it. Thank you much. All right, take care. Hot air balloon travel, I think that's relatively environmentally safe. Why don't we just go to that? We can go back to Zeppelins and hot air balloons, and we don't need to worry about trains, because trains are inherently dirty too, unless you're all going to go with maglevs and stuff like that. But there's an awful lot of fossil fuels that go into the production of maglevs. So not that I don't think a train across the ocean wouldn't be awesome, but there is a whole lot of engineering that has to happen with that, especially considering storms and sea lane travels. And boy, that's science fiction is what that is. So again, build trains across the ocean to end all air travel, so no more airplanes. Why not just make the airplanes fly on different propulsion? Whatever. Don't invest in new technology of carbon capture and storage. Just plant trees instead. Okay, dingus. Clean coal is a real thing. All right. What people don't realize about clean coal cleans up over 90%, depending on the generation and efficiency of that particular plant. Cleans up about 90% of the carbon emissions of a coal plant, right? And it captures it, recycles it, reuses it as new energy, okay? So she wants to stop doing that, because we don't need to do that, because we're not going to have any fossil fuel plants, so there's going to be no coal anyway. And then she wants to plant more trees. She doesn't realize that we now have more trees on planet Earth than we did a century ago. So we already have more trees than we used to have. They have found large plots of forest that we never knew existed just in the past year. The forest density of this planet is far higher than they originally believed it was. And then you still have some in the global warming community saying that this is leading to warmer temperatures, because shocker, plants like warmer temperatures. So there's actually some in the global warming community who believe more trees make the planet warmer. Okay, so they're gonna have to have that fight with themselves, I guess. Mandates all new jobs be unionized. That's hysterical. May include a carbon tax. What do you need a carbon tax for? There's going to be no fossil fuel energy. May include cap and trade. Again, what do you need that for? There's going to be no fossil fuel energy. They were asked how much it was going to cost. They're saying $4.6 trillion at a minimum. That's ridiculously low. There is not enough money in the world to pay for this. Just doesn't happen. And then, of course, Cortez was asked, well, how are you going to pay for it? No clue. No idea. Now, she was asked a while ago how she was going to pay for some of this stuff, and she goes, you just do. No, you don't. It's not how this works. And until we develop replicators, okay, and until this is Star Trek, we're going to be at a point where this type of this is literally something that I would see on the Sci-Fi Channel. Okay, you guys remember the show Eureka? And the show Eureka is about a town, a secret hidden town of the brightest scientists in the world. And they lived in this town, and it was the cop that protected the town and all of that stuff. And so there's a bunch of weird sci-fi stuff on it. It's a really good show. But this is the type of thing you would see in a script for that. This is not real life. This is not intelligent. This is not informed. This is not anything that an adult would come up with. That's the thing. We are, again, you can be a dreamer, folks. There's nothing wrong with being a dreamer. But with that dream, there has to be some practicality, and there has to be some realism to ground you in what you're trying to do. This is just, as Rush would say, gobbledygook. There's really not much else to say about it. I just stunned. There's people out there cheering this. I mean, they're talking about the farting cows. Okay. Remember several years ago, I would tell you about how they were trying to get rid of methane emissions from cows. They were taking these giant urinal cake-sized hockey puck things, and they were shoving them up the backside of the cow. They were basically an Alka-Seltzer for the cow's butt. So when the cow passed gas, it would filter through this Alka-Seltzer tablet that was in the cow's butt, and then it would somehow dissipate, they said, the methane that would come out of the backside of the cow. And that was supposed to be a good thing? Sounds like animal abuse to me. But this is the type of stuff that they're running around and saying that we should do. And when you point out Ivanpah, the second largest solar plant in the country, Ivanpah lasers birds to death dozens of times a day. They call them streamers. They literally have death rays that shoot birds out of the sky. The largest solar power plant is in Arizona, and it has been fined as being a polluter. But it's a solar power plant. It's the largest one in the country, one of the largest in the world. How could it possibly be a polluter? Because it's not clean. Because it's not efficient, so you need diesel generators to back it up. Same thing with wind. But hey, maybe she's got access to some alien technology we're not aware of. If she does, I would like to see it, because maybe we can change things. Who knows? MNC News Time is 3:31. Time to check out Masters Heating and Air Conditioning online. MastersHeatCool.com. Masters gets there faster.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station.
On 95.3 FM, the 95.3 MNC skill on Alexa, and 95.3 MNC.
Yeah, you can go back to the steam-driven stuff, but again, how did they generate the steam? Fossil fuels. So.
Logan Sport high school senior who was on the honor roll was accused of killing someone she went to school with.
18-year-old Braden Berkshire was arrested Monday for reckless homicide and obstruction of justice in connection to the death of 18-year-old Nathan Hunt.
I will say, at least she's a politician, and I can expect a politician to be dumb about this stuff. I was less shocked by this than I was about Elon Musk saying that there can only be so much carbon that the atmosphere could hold. Because I actually hit my palm on my forehead after that. I'm like, wow, you're supposed to be a smart guy. But it's laughable stuff. Just absolute laughable stuff. Netflix paid zero in taxes.
Apex says he'll also collaborate with industry experts to drive positive transformation of healthcare and employee benefits issues. Rotita represented Indiana's 4th District from 2011 till last month. He had sought the Republican nomination for then-Senator Joe Donnelly's seat, but lost to Mike Braun in the primary.
95.3 MNC's Darren Wright reporting.
Maybe one day we'll get there with some form of magnetic levitation that can be mass-produced, and it'll be great, but we don't have that stuff now.
President tweeting today the Dems and their committees are going nuts. The Republicans never did this to President Obama. There will be no time left to run government.
Fox's John Decker at the White House. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Democrats are moving forward with efforts designed to combat climate change.
All kinds of ideas coming forward.
Eliminate 99% of cars.
Highlight the importance
Um,
existential threat to the planet.
Freshman New York
free education for life.
Ocasio-Cortez is calling for a Green New Deal, which would result in net
The government will provide healthy food to every American because. Okay. The government will provide a house. You'll get free money. And you will ban meat. Those were some of the things that were in it. In addition to the other stuff that I told you.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialist first warning forecast.
Scattered showers in
Good
the forecast today. Could even have a couple
Lord.
rumbles of thunder and windier conditions. Temperatures warming up to 54 degrees, but then they crash tonight, dropping down to 16 degrees and continuing to fall into Friday morning.
I mean, dude, fusion would be amazing, but you know, you gotta keep it stable.
Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Ellen Kennedy.
News powered by Polymax at 4 Lakes.
But see, here's the thing, Mike. Hydrogen's great, okay? Hydrogen fuel cells are amazing. However, hydrogen fuel cells emit something. You know what they emit? Water vapor. Water vapor is a greenhouse gas.
The worst greenhouse gas.
So you have a bunch of environmentalists who hate hydrogen power. So they've never come up with what we should use, just that we shouldn't use the stuff that we're using. Okay, show me something else. We haven't even discovered what they would replace this with. That's the problem. When Honda was really working on their hydrogen car, man, they were attacked by the green movement relentlessly for it.
The increase in microbial activity in the soil helps get more nutrients to the plant, and you get an average 3.8 bushel.
I think it's a cool technology, don't get me wrong. There's air pressure, they got some air cars, and those are intriguing. But again, we're nowhere near the point where that's going to be a mass transportation option.
Always read and follow label directions.
A Fox Business Report, powered by Modern Kitchen and Elkhart, opening new doors to build your dream living spaces.
This is Who's Your Ag Today.
The only way really to do this is to build the robot army, let them take over, and use us as batteries.
607-226-6224 and find out how you can get a $1.5 to $2.5 premium. Well, the ag markets sold off.
Yeah, what could go wrong with hydrogen? The fuel cells are actually pretty safe, but I get your point.
Also, growing bearishness over USDA's reports coming out midday tomorrow. March corn finished the day 3.5 cents down, 376.5. May 384.25 off 3 3/4. July down 3.5 at 392.
Army commanders are complaining that the current fitness test is too easy, but that's not the new one though, because the Army's implementing a new fitness standard. Are they complaining that the new one is too easy?
Cattle futures April 126.82 down 32, $1.30 lower. April lean hogs 59.60. I'm Andy Eubank. Who's Your Ag Today? Indiana's Farm Network.
From the Fox Business Network on Wall Street, the major averages are lower in the final hour of trading as investors are concerned about U.S.-China trade tensions. And it's the largest bank deal since the financial crisis. BB&T striking a $28.2 billion deal.
The Hindenburg from Chevy, 50 miles per gallon.
Big lenders with long histories in the South. And speaking of banks, Wells
In case if you ask me, this is part of the 45 goals of communism. Yeah,
preventing customers from logging onto their
you can say that. No, you could throw that in there.
of ATMs having issues. In social media posts, Wells Fargo said they are working quickly to resolve the issue. And wondering how much you'll be paying for some medications, one large drug maker.
Speaking of vaping, what if we just powered everything on vape? What if e-liquids were the e-solution of the future? What if our government fighting against vaping was actually fighting against renewable energy sources? Although oil is renewable because oil doesn't go away forever. But try and tell that to somebody who's been told otherwise.
Designed with exclusive SmartFlex technology or frameless beam design, Michelin blades flex to the curve of your windshield, giving you unparalleled, streak-free, long-lasting, all-season performance. So when the going gets tough, be ready with Michelin Premium Wiper Blades. It's a difference you can see. Available
Oh yeah, Godzilla. Godzilla's good. I like Godzilla. I'm happy about that, man. I'm so stoked that Ford brought back their two best engines. So you got the Coyote back now, and now they're bringing back the Godzilla. Dude, love that. That thing is a beast. It's a legendary Ford engine, but they're relaunching it. So they've modernized a new version of the Godzilla. It's the code name for the Skunk Works.
We'll do any type of service warranty repair, whether it be from a small appliance repair.
Was that?
Gojira.
Yeah.
All the way up to full collisions.
You know, it's the there's a meme of the guy who played the original Godzilla holding like a big Godzilla doll, and the Godzilla doll looks like he's smiling, like really big. He's like this, and so they zoom in. It's like best day ever. Like it's him, best day ever. It's like he's starstruck.
Sure hope there's a trash can over there.
There is.
This is a spile.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Frank, cannabis power. You never know, dude. If the way the marijuana community is, though, the idea that we would be able to power a vehicle with pot may very well happen. So, like, your car will smoke the pot, so everybody else can smoke the pot, and then move your car along, and then everybody be happy. And I would not be opposed to that.
We're smoking while we're driving. That's
But there'll be automatic cars by then,
Oh,
right?
you're right.
They're robotic, man. You saw Elon light up on that cigar.
Well, his company drug tests and fires you if you get caught with weed in your system.
Well, his company tried to remove him for that too, but yeah, the hypocrisy was.
That was a big thing.
It was a big thing. And it wasn't even a joint. It was a hybrid cigar and joint. I forget what they call it, but so it was extra potent. Dumb. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. All right. So let's see here. What do we have? So somebody is saying that the Netflix story is old. I was talking about a Netflix story here that it was on Drudge just a minute ago, and I just saw it. I hadn't planned on talking about it, and I just mentioned it in the live stream that Netflix didn't pay any taxes. And then somebody said, no, that's an old story, and they sent me an old story. But the one that I have was published today about the 2018 taxes. So I guess Netflix has been doing this for some time, and that is going to be the concern. Now, for those of you who don't know, Netflix has more subscribers than all cable companies now. Okay. So it's, big news. So this is the Daily Mail. It was published today, 10:51. It was updated at 3:29. Okay. Netflix didn't pay a cent in state or federal income taxes last year. That's 2018, despite posting its largest ever U.S. profit in 2018 of $845 million. So nearly $1 billion company, that's profit. Okay, that's profit. They didn't pay any taxes. In addition, the streaming giant reported a $22 million federal tax rebate. So they didn't pay taxes. They got paid $22 million. It sounds like an illegal alien claiming kids that lived in Mexico. Now, it's according to the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy. Netflix says that they paid $131 million in taxes in 2018, which is interesting. Senior fellow at ITEP, Matthew Gardner, said corporations like Netflix, which has its headquarters in Los Gatos, California, are still exploiting loopholes and called the figures troubling. He said, with a record number of subscribers, the company's profit last year equaled its haul in the previous 4 years put together.
When hugely profitable corporations avoid tax, that means smaller businesses and working families must make up the difference, yada, yada, yada. All right. Now, this is where the people who hate corporations have a point, okay? There are certain corporations in this country that get away with not paying anything or paying very, very little. General Motors has always been highlighted as an example of that. And it was exacerbated when the government took over General Motors, and then General Motors was still not paying any taxes. So, you had the government kind of getting mad at General Motors for not paying taxes and, of course, the other stuff. And then the government also didn't make General Motors pay taxes because then the government was paying taxes. It was a whole weird thing. President Trump promised the biggest tax cut, the biggest reform of all time, said the numbers will speak for themselves when he signed the bill in December 2017. They do speak for themselves, by the way. Record revenue. And the economy is absolutely soaring. Plus, the Economic Freedom Index for the United States has soared under President Trump over previous presidents. So it's been a large success. When people say, like I saw, Mayor Buttigieg went after Ben Shapiro because Mayor Buttigieg is now trying to get known. And so now he's tweeting at Ben Shapiro, trying to get noticed. And so I tweeted at him with some numbers. I don't think he responded back. This is before the State of the Union address. So basically, he was saying that tax cuts won't pay for themselves. And that's not true. So we know that. This is Econ 101. And so what we also know is that the wealthy, and of course, Mayor Buttigieg says, tax cuts for the wealthy won't pay for themselves, which there weren't any tax cuts for the wealthy, but I digress. So the wealthiest Americans, wealthy Americans, before the tax cuts that were passed by Trump and the Republican Congress, their total tax burden was 84%, meaning they paid 84% of all taxes, After the tax cut, after Trump's tax bill, they pay 87%. So the wealthy actually have increased their tax burden by 3% since the new tax bill went into effect. So they're not paying less in taxes. They're paying more. And we highlighted what New York was saying is that now you can't write off your state taxes from your federal taxes. So now what's happening is your taxes, you're paying more in it because your taxes now going to the federal government. You're not getting that write-off anymore. So wealthy people are paying more in taxes with their effective tax rates. And that's the thing that has so many of these celebrities so furious that they don't want to pay more in taxes. They love running around and pretending that they want higher taxes. It's like the patriotic millionaires that we've played the video a million times on the show. Patriotic millionaires go to Washington, D.C. on a regular basis to lobby for higher taxes for millionaires. None of them will voluntarily pay more in taxes, which you can do. You can go to the Treasury Department. There's a donation page. None of them will actually do it. And they say it's silly. So they're out there pretending to want to pay more in taxes, but lead by example, and they won't lead by example. So Netflix apparently has been doing this for several years. Somebody pointed out that they have done this in previous years too. I don't know how they're doing it or what the whole tax thing is about. I'm just letting you know. This is the thing that sticks in the craw of some people. You see a big company like that almost makes $1 billion in profit and they didn't pay any taxes. Now Netflix says that they did. I don't have their official filing, so I don't know. But there seems to be a big discrepancy over what they did or did not pay. Anyway, 574-2595, 95.3. That's 2595-953. More coming up on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3.
Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Served up by the Prime Table. Cooking delicious homemade specials. Tuesday meatloaf, Thursday stuffed cabbage, and Friday mac and cheese. Come for dinner tonight.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialists, 5-day forecast.
Forecast today with temperatures warming up to about 54 degrees. It could even have a couple rumbles of thunder at times, which may hold some gusty winds. We'll have temperatures, though, plummet for tonight, dropping down to 16 degrees and continuing to fall from there into Friday morning. We're going to talk some windy conditions for tonight, and that's going to make it feel even colder for tomorrow. Our temperature is going to feel closer to below zero temperatures during the day. Could have an isolated snow shower or two, but overall most areas are going to stay pretty quiet with partly cloudy skies. For Saturday, we'll be mostly sunny with temperatures right around 24 degrees. Temperatures dropping back down to 16 overnight. And then for Sunday, we're back right around freezing with a high of 32 and a chance for snow. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Kennedy.
95.3 MNC is live on all your listening devices, on the radio at 95.3 FM, on the computer at 95.3mnc.com, on your smartphone when you
Man,
download
I'm
the
tired.
95.3 MNC app, and now on Alexa.
Just really tired
when you
today.
Tell her to enable the 95.3 MNC skill. Your top news, traffic, and weather, and the #1 talk show lineup in Michiana, anytime, everywhere. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
Hello, I'm Les Anderson, owner of Signs of the Times. We're a full-service sign company. We've been in business now going on 14 years. We have 2 stores located in Elkhart. A lot of the services we offer, the vehicle wraps have just taken off in the last several years. And with that, our business has grown. And when we give you something on a proof, and then when you see it on your vehicle...
Somebody sent a text and said to define the wealthy. That's the top 20% of income earners.
Realize that you're dealing with true professionals.
So the top 20% pay 87% of taxes. They used to pay 84%.
Whether it's a $5,000 or $10,000 job, I want somebody who walks in and say, I want a $25 t-shirt to feel like you're a $10,000 customer. It doesn't really matter. I honestly believe one of the most important things in business is taking care of people, period. And that their job, no matter how big or small, is important to us.
From wraps to signs, apparel and fleets, display your brand with Signs of the Times in Elkhart. Visit signsofthetimeselkhart.com.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Miller with Good Faith Management, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast and for a fair price, call me at 574-621-3277. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days.
Police in Chicago are hinting that they're not really believing this Jussie Smollett guy anymore.
I'm not a realtor or associated with any realty company.
They're saying if he's making this up, they're going to charge him.
And I want to buy more. Call me at 574-621.
So it's been reported, I can't confirm this, but it's been reported that he is on camera the entire time he was out of his apartment, except for about 60 seconds.
Great, because I love buying damaged houses.
Which would mean the attack would have had to happen off camera in about a minute.
And foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast,
which I guess theoretically is possible,
621-3277 for a cash offer today.
Sure doesn't seem likely.
621-3277.
Weaver Heating and Cooling is your local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Here's owner Jeffrey Ness on the benefits of being family-owned and operated.
We felt when you get bigger, you can't take care of your customers as well as you can when you're smaller. You know, when the guys have a one-on-one type thing with their customer, it makes it feel a whole lot better to them and us too.
Give Weaver Heating and Cooling a call today. 574-259-9941.
Oh, did he? I'll have to look at that.
Trusted, local, independent, American Standard heating and air conditioning.
That's just it. Like the fact that you have him on camera so much, but none of his perpetrators. Bleeding. Rare to mid-rare. More on the rare side. Not really. I mean, a little bit better, but not too much. It goes through spats. I feel better for longer periods now than I did, and then I'll have like an hour where it's just awful. So, Dean, I'm going to look at that tonight and see if I can do it, and if I can't, Monday will be just fine. And good afternoon.
Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595-953. Somebody sent me a text message. Good question. Casey, define the wealthy, because I was talking about the wealthy's tax burden. Before tax reform happened under President Trump, their tax burden was 84%, meaning they paid 84% of all taxes to the federal government, okay? And then after tax reform happened, they pay 87%. So their tax burden actually went up. Now, with these tax cuts, too, record revenue to the federal coffers, which means the tax cuts are, in fact, paying for themselves because we have more revenue coming in as a result. And that was my point when Mayor Buttigieg was tweeting to Ben Shapiro. He says tax cuts for the wealthy don't pay for themselves. There was no tax cuts for the wealthy. That's a lie. Beyond that, the tax cuts that did happen have absolutely paid for themselves because there's more money coming in than ever before covering the cost of those tax cuts. The problem is spending. We keep increasing spending every year. That's the issue. And again, a lot of that is social programs, Medicare, Social Security, that sort of stuff. And, those things are expensive. So if we're going to continue to fund those things the way that we are now, instead of reforming them like we should, since everybody seems to be so skittish about it, then we've got to find cuts somewhere else if we're going to make it work. But somebody sent me a message and said, define the wealthy for me, please. And that was the top 20%. So the top 20% of income earners in the U.S. used to pay 84% of all taxes. They now pay 87% of all taxes. Okay, so 20% of American wage earners pay, the top 20% pay 87% of all taxes. So again, you talk about fair share, there you go. 574-25-95-95-3. That is 2595-953. I'm a little hungry today. Joe, you hungry? You like steak? You love steak, huh? How many of you have been craving more steak lately? You have? Joe's been craving more steak? I have too. And now there's a new study out there that says why that might be happening. And so I'm wondering if maybe I need to put some kind of a safeguard in my my browser history. For like if I die, that automatically deletes it. Because a new study claims that men start craving beef and pork after viewing sexy images of women. Referencing, if I die, delete my browser history. Don't look for the will. Just delete the browser history. Referencing several food outlets who used oversexed ads to attract their male customer base. By the way, Carl's Jr. did this better than anybody. Researchers tracked more than 1,600 men and women in the U.S., UK, and Australia in a bid to explore advertising's impact on red meat consumption and thereby its connection with mating. The study, titled "Is Meat Sexy?" Duh, of course it is, was subsequently published in the journal Food Quality and Preference, and the New York Post reported on it. According to the co-authors, Eugene Chan and Natalina Zazaki, marketing professors at Monash University and the University of Technology in Sydney, respectively, men tended to act out in ways that, quote, increase their desirability as sex partners when they experienced sexual motivation. While one might think that they are turning into carnivorous predators purely out of lust for women, researchers claim it is also about signaling status. Yeah, anybody who's been a hunter knows that. With that in mind, nothing says I'm a powerful, hot-blooded man like a juicy ribeye steak. The link between meat and status is grounded in evolutionary drivers of consumption. Cavemen consume meat in order to be strong, healthy, and powerful enough to survive the harsh environment. Royalty and the nobility also consumed meat because it signified wealth. Speaking to the Post, Dr. Chan said marketing is manipulating mankind's eating habits. Well, yeah, we know that. In order to launch the tacky trend, Carl's Jr. styled bombshells such as Kim Kardashian as a bikini-clad burger muncher to lure its male customer. Why would you put Kim Kardashian in? Nobody even remembers the Kim Kardashian ad. Everybody remembers the Kate Upton ad, and everybody remembers the other girl's ad. I don't know her name, but I know the ad. I could still, very vividly, I can see the ad. I don't remember her name, though. But I don't think anybody remembers the Kim Kardashian ad at all. I got news for you. Girls like Kim Kardashian. Guys, not so much. I don't know a lot of guys that are big fans of Kim Kardashian. I really don't. Like, honestly, except for like 3 or 4 rappers. There's really, I don't know a lot of guys who are really into Kim Kardashian. But again, as we say on the program, God bless Kate Upton. So anyway, the food chain faced severe backlash, was eventually forced to drop the ads. It inspired a host of imitators. One of them was Kraft's Devour Frozen Dinners, which created the tagline, "Food you want to fork." I have never seen this, but now I'm going to Google these commercials. I have to, because that just seems amazing. So anyway, Chan said that the new research indicated the unintended effects of such salacious ads, sexualized images of women, can make men eat meat more as a way to increase their masculinity and status and show them off to the opposite sex. Yes, because this is also basic physiology, okay? We need to eat meat. And there are some of you out there who have chosen not to for various reasons. Okay, cool. Just understand that is not physiologically or biologically sound. It's okay if that's how you want to eat. It's okay if it makes you feel better. It's okay if you'd rather do that for moral reasons and then supplement it with pills and powders and things like that. That's fine, man. Live your life the way that you want to live your life. But it's still not biologically sound. We know that human beings only developed into the creatures that we are at the top of the food chain because we started consuming meat. We can see it in the evolutionary cycle. We can see the development in the brain as a result of it. When we don't eat, what are the things that we crave? Like if you don't have breakfast or lunch and you're on your way home and you haven't had dinner yet, what are the things you crave? It's not because McDonald's is somehow warping your mind with their advertising. McDonald's knows that the human body needs salt and it needs meat when it is hungry. It needs fat, meat, salt, protein, all of that stuff when it's hungry. And so when you go long periods of time without having that, what does McDonald's offer to you? All of the things that your brain and your body physically needs. All of those things. And you're drawn to it. It's not because McDonald's is putting some secret addictive formula in there. The addictive formula is that we don't eat properly because we are a moving society. In other places of the world where they're a little bit more... sedentary is not the right word because we're pretty sedentary, but places that are a little bit more relaxed, they don't have the schedules, they don't work as long hours, they're not as stressed as we are, they take their time to eat, that sort of stuff. They tend to not consume fast food. So fast food knows what's up. They know what's happening. But there's a reason that vegan guys tend to be bullied by their women, and women seem to target them that way. Just saying. Got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
WTRC FM and HD1.
Niles, South Bend, Elkhart.
Meat Mountain is loaded with protein. Dude, the Meat Mountain is so good. So good. Oh, there goes my plug-in. Plug-in already doing it.
The Fox News.
When the Meat Mountain Denali comes back out, maybe we'll have Joe have it.
Shutdown runs out a week from tomorrow. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on Capitol Hill.
A deal to keep government open beyond next week and fund border security programs could come by the weekend. Senate Appropriations Committee Chairman Richard Shelby says even President Trump was positive in a meeting today.
I believe that he was very reasonable with us.
Other lawmakers on the House-Senate panel trying to negotiate a proposal also insist progress is being made and trust being built.
And we're dealing with all the issues that I've already named: detention beds, the need for humanitarian aid.
House Appropriations Committee Democrat Lucille Robal-Aliar did not rule out some form of physical barrier as part of an agreement. Lisa.
Meantime, Jared, the so-called Green New Deal is out, a sweeping proposal from two Democrats in Congress aimed at reaching net zero greenhouse gas emissions in 10 years. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi seemed to downplay it earlier today, referring to it as the Green Dream. Freshman New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying she does not consider that to be dismissive.
I will not allow our caucus to be divided up by silly notions of whatever narrative. We are in this together. We are 100% in this together.
The proposal in the form of a non-binding resolution, Republican Senator John Barrasso calls it a socialist manifesto. He was a baseball pioneer. Frank Robinson has died. The Hall of Fame outfielder was the only player to win the MVP award in both leagues. He went on to become the first black manager in Major League Baseball. Frank Robinson was 83. He had been in hospice care at his California home. On Wall Street, a down day, the Dow drops 218. This is Fox News.
Mother load. Good for you, Matthew.
95.3 FM, the 95.3 MNC app, and online at 95.3mnc.com. I'm Tommy Lee in the MNC News Center, and among our top stories this afternoon,
Yeah, sugar and carbs will kill you.
liquids in Indiana would be raised to 21, and the state would start taxing those
Then I die happy.
bills under bills that are advancing in the future state legislature.
The Indiana Senate Health Committee has voted to advance a bill raising from 18 the minimum age to buy cigarettes, other tobacco products.
Alexander Podbean got uploaded a bunch this week. So when John covers my show, he doesn't record. So So when Joe does, he does record. So sometimes there's only 2 hours. It's like hour 2 and hour 3. Yesterday, every hour got uploaded, plus the Jackie Walorski interviews separately got uploaded. So
That's 95.3 MNC's Darren Wright. South Bend police are investigating an attempted robbery near the IU South Bend campus Wednesday night. It happened around 8:45 on First Street near Mishawaka Avenue.
Yummers.
The victim. He told police that a Hispanic man came up to them and attempted to steal their wallet at knife point. The suspect was described as 6'1", tall, slim, and wearing a blue sweatshirt. Last seen heading toward Mishawaka Avenue. IUSB issued a safety alert Wednesday night for the campus regarding the robbery. And many people made New Year's resolutions about taking better care of their health.
the best part about shows where I get to talk about stuff like that is I get to use Kate Upton thumbnails on my blog.
Screening event on Thursday the 14th. It will be held on the second floor of Community Wellness in the High Park building on South Main, next to Goshen Hospital. Healthcare professionals will answer your questions and make simple recommendations for a healthier lifestyle based on your results. Offered screenings can include blood pressure, body mass index, bone density, and diabetes risk assessment. There will also be a cholesterol screening for a prepaid $20 fee. No walk-ins.
They're red pilling a lot of people, are they? Sweet. Well, Alexander, I appreciate it. I'm French royalty, so you let everybody know you know French royalty. True story. But yeah, all 3 hours from yesterday, the Jackie Walorski one got uploaded. They got uploaded, so they should be there should, yeah, 2 hours. Oh yeah, 2 hours yesterday. Sorry, 2 hours yesterday. But I think there should be on iTunes and Google Play Music or Google Podcast now. I think there'll be 6 of them that should show up today. So they're out there, I promise. Schedule's been a little hectic, but we're getting back in the groove of it. Yeah, Kiefer approves of the Kate Upton thumbnails. The sheer amount of views that I get on the Daily Show preps that have Kate Upton thumbnails on them lets me know that people are just looking at the thumbnails. Because the numbers are ridiculous. Which is why I have so many of them.
Made to order American classics like walleye.
Oh yeah, Godzilla King of Monsters comes out this year.
Chairman's Reserve steaks.
Godzilla Engine comes out this year too.
Double bacon, double cheeseburgers, wings, and a full bar to put the finishing touches on your
Godzilla.
Just a short drive from anywhere in Michiana. We're located between the 9th and 10th.
That's a very interesting like dialogue between Japan and looking at nuclear stuff and like radiation nuclear and America looking at nuclear radiation and stuff.
I can understand why the Japanese are gun shy. But Fuku,
because like in American like sci-fi, radiation gives you superpowers.
Japanese make monsters, yeah.
Like that.
That's an interesting,
It's
yeah.
actually a really cool, interesting dialogue. I think it is.
That engine is sexy as hell, man. My God, it's so pretty. The only thing that would make it better is if it had snakeskin.
First thing, smoke a cigarette. Before lunch, after lunch. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm kind of feeling like I've lost about 4 hours of every day. I decided I didn't so I started looking and then dual tame.
It looks so easy to work on too.
Eventually, I just switched over. It's very quick.
Mimi made the switch.
I already see an extra 20 horsepower on that thing. Swap out the underdrive pulley on that, which, I mean, this is all standard stuff, but that underdrive pulley is way too big. And that throttle body is way too small. You're at least going to get 20. You'll probably get up to 40 horsepower swapping those out. And the underdrive pulley, that's an easy change too. As long as you can get your knuckles into the bay, you're good.
And Glassdoor can help you find that perfect candidate in half the resumes. Go to
Godzilla.
Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
Well, I appreciate it, Alexander. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to die.
Eventually, probably not today though.
Yeah. I was just coughing, and I just said I'm going to die.
And Joe said, someday, probably not today. And to my response is, just delete my browser history, and we're good to go. Somebody sent a text, said, speaking of... the Green New Deal would ban cows because they fart. Yes. Remember, we don't use the word fart on the program anymore. Flatulent. That's what we use. It's much more highbrow, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we talked about that at the beginning of the show today. And yeah, getting rid of the cows and all that other stuff, banning meat consumption and all of that. So yeah, it's a, like I said, it's a pipe dream of crazy. But what are you going to do? Do want to thank our sponsor, Second Amendment Arms and Range, located in New Carlisle. Again, they have 10 dedicated shooting lanes, rifle and pistol. They're indoors. You can rent if you want to rent something. People have asked me before, can you rent an AR over there? Yes, you can. So if you have a journalist friend who is convinced that their shoulder is going to fall off by firing an AR-15, like that one guy who overly dramatized it, was he NBC or something? That guy who pretended that the AR-15 knocked his shoulder out of socket because he shot it. Whatever that guy is. If you know a journalist like that, take them shooting. Go to Second Amendment Arms and Range. Mention me, get half off your range time, and hopefully you'll convert some people over to the boomstickery. Okay, phone number 574-25-95-95-3. That is 25-95-953. You can also send a text message to 45364, and please put MNC at the beginning of that message. All right, so let's talk about this Jussie Smollett thing. I'm keeping this in the headlines, as many people are, because it sure does look like this is a hoax, okay? Now, Jussie Smollett is the actor from the show Empire who claimed that he was attacked in Chicago when it was negative, 20 or 30 degrees. It was during that big storm that we just had. And he decided at 2 in the morning he was going to go get some Subway. Now, that might seem odd, especially given the weather, but yeah, I get cravings at 2 in the morning too. And I suppose if I could just walk downstairs to a Subway, I might go get a Subway. Who knows? It's entirely possible, right? So, things and stuff, right? So anyway, he goes and he's going to Subway. He gets a Subway sandwich, and then he claims that he's approached by 2 guys who call him the Empire F word, derogatory word for gay people, and then they attack him. But they don't do much damage, and then they put a rope around his neck like a noose. Now, after that, here's what happens based on the video that we have. So after he's attacked, because we don't catch the attack on tape, after he's attacked, he picks up his Subway sandwich. Okay? Now, some people have called attention to that being odd. And I suppose if you had just been jumped by a couple of people, many people might not pick up their food. I think I would still be hungry and probably grab my sandwich. Okay? Other people, maybe not. So he grabbed his sandwich. He did not take the noose off of his neck. He walks back into his apartment building, which I guess is a friend's house or something. He walks past security. He's on tape walking past security. Doesn't mention that he was just assaulted. He goes upstairs and says that he doesn't want to report the whole thing. Eventually is convinced to report it, and he calls and reports it, right? So police come down. He goes to the hospital. He's got that scratch under his eye. He looks like he's trying to make his cheek look swollen by moving his mouth to the side in the picture that everybody sees from the hospital. So for those of you on the live stream, I'm looking straight ahead, and then he just kind of goes like that. And you can see that he's doing that to try and make his cheek look a little bit more swollen than it really is. Now, there's clearly an injury there, okay? It's a minor injury. It's a scratch. We were told that he had a broken rib and that he was attacked by these 2 people, that they were wearing masks, okay? That all goes out into the public. TMZ does a story on it. TMZ then says that he was attacked by 2 Trump supporters in downtown Chicago, of which there's literally like 2 Trump supporters. So it's kind of interesting that you would have a couple of Trump supporters in downtown Chicago in negative 20, negative 30 degree weather, walking around with ski masks with a noose and red MAGA hats, and that they would know who this guy is. So automatically I was a little skeptical of what I was hearing. It just seems strange that if you're really a racist, homophobe type person, so much so that you're motivated to attack them, how would you know who this guy is? He's on a show that caters to a black audience, which I would assume that white supremacists are not watching. That's my assumption. No, not being one, I don't know. Maybe they have watching parties. But right? I mean, just you can fantasize about hurting people, right? So you have a watching party, like, oh, I totally hate everybody in this cast. I'm just assuming. Yeah, who knows? But it just seems strange, right? So now what ended up happening is they were looking for suspects. They found no suspects. There's 2 other people on the street because nobody's dumb enough to be walking around in downtown Chicago, -20, -30 degrees at 2 in the morning. So there's 2 other people walking down the street. They don't match the description that he gave. They were walking away from the scene before the attack allegedly happened. They were viewed in frame with him, though. And apparently it's been reported that he's on camera for all but 60 seconds. So the moment he leaves to the moment he gets back, he's on some security surveillance camera for all but 60 seconds. So now, if that's true, we're led to believe that the attack happened in about a minute, which I guess theoretically is possible, but seems strange. Other people have pointed off, why wouldn't he take the noose off? And I said earlier when this was first going, maybe he kept it on there to preserve evidence. Okay? It's plausible, but now we're told that he wasn't going to report the crime. Well, if he wasn't going to report the crime, why would he keep the noose around his neck? Then his manager says that he was on the phone with the guy and he overheard everything. But the police were never told about the MAGA. This is MAGA country. Yeah, they're beating him, and this was MAGA country. So I have questions about people wearing a hat on the outside of their ski mask. I don't know. That's weird. Okay. What were they doing outside of this guy's apartment at 2 in the morning in -20, -30 degree weather? They talked about the bleach being poured on him, but doesn't bleach like freeze at like 18 or something degrees or something like that? So it would have been frozen. So how can you pour bleach on the guy? There's so many questions, right? Then we find out that his rib was never broke. His rib wasn't broke. He refused to turn his phone over to the police to confirm that he was on the phone with his manager, and his manager could have actually heard some of the racial epithets used against him. Huh? 18 to 19 degrees, bleach freezes. Okay, so they didn't pour bleach on him. But originally it was reported as an unknown chemical substance. Okay. We're still talking about really cold temperatures, though, where it's going to be very hard for any liquid to really survive. Now, do they pour alcohol on him? Assume it would have been able to smell that. I don't know. Just it's weird. The whole thing is falling apart. So now we are getting some cracks in law enforcement. They had 12 detectives, I think was the number that we had. Let's see what he calls another. Okay, so they're saying it's about -12 with -20 wind chills. What they're saying it was that night. Okay, so I think that they had 12 detectives looking at this as a potential hate crime. But now law enforcement is saying if he's lying about this, we're going to press charges. So now law enforcement is out there saying, we're not sure we believe the guy. We're treating it as a hate crime, but we're not sure that we believe him anymore. There's no evidence. And right now, the case just looks as if it is going to end up being yet another hate. Now, but the vast majority of these types of stories end up being frauds, okay? Very rarely do things like this actually happen. About 98% of them end up being fake hate crimes. We talk about them, we document them on a regular basis on the show, have been for years. So, but this one, you know, I always start off with, all right, let's look at it. Let's see if it's potentially true. It just doesn't add up. Nothing about this story is adding up. And right now we're seeing that the police are starting to say, we're not finding anything that corroborates this guy's story at all. So as we continue to follow this case, don't be surprised if this ends up being another fake hate scandal. And then at that point, it's about watching the media who has been covering this and pushing it as a hate crime and whether or not they walk it back and they actually go after this guy for deceiving them, because usually the media doesn't do all of that. Okay. But this is a celebrity. This isn't just some random person. So it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening here, but keep an eye on this. It doesn't look very good for him right now. All right. 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595-953. More coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Michiana's news channel.
I don't know why it ended an hour early, but your chat has frozen.
It is frozen. All right.
2, I have the menu for tomorrow. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
So they are sending over walleye, ribeye, deep fried pork chops, fried cabbage, and bourbon wings.
Ooh, my bourbon wings. Those bourbon wings are so good, dude.
And then he asked me if I eat those or I need a salad, and I went, no, I'm good. Thanks.
We end the week with a sharp drop in temperature, then slowly warm through the weekend. 15 on Friday, partly cloudy and breezy. The wind chill
might need longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah, I gotta get out there. We'll probably do that at 4:30. I gotta get out there though. He's got a shooting simulator downstairs.
partly cloudy
And
on
he wants me
Monday.
to test out.
34 could be a little messy by Tuesday as highs top out in the upper 30s. We'll see a chance of rain and snow.
Did I say sharding?
Going into the middle of next
Police are sharding to say?
DC57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom.
I didn't hear it. I didn't get a call about it.
Kiefer wears a hat to cover his ski mask. Is he weird? Yes.
Impressed when you come out with the spray.
Second one? The schedule?
Yes. I'm looking at it. It'll be 1 hour after the first one.
There's supposed to be one a day, though, so I guess they scheduled one of the makeups.
That's what I'm guessing.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's good. I thought I was just going to have to keep track of it.
Is just around the corner, and you're probably looking for the perfect gift for that special someone. So do your shopping at Impress Jewelry Creations. They have an exceptional team of jewelers who have worked together for years. Your Valentine is one of a kind. Show them how special and unique they are with a one-of-a-kind custom piece from Impress Jewelry Creations. Impress also carries top brands like Simon G, Soho,
Bless you.
Martha Seeley Modern Jewelry, A. Jaffe, and wait until you see the William Henry collection. Absolutely stunning pieces made.
I am shocked that I got through this commercial because that's when I was like at the height of my sick.
In the entire world. They even have pieces made with meteorite, which
It's a minute, and it took me many takes.
Most of the jewelry at Impress Jewelry Creations is made right here in the
I am
United States.
stunned that I got through it.
So this Valentine's Day, Impress with Impress Jewelry Creations. They're located at 1233 University Drive,
Oy.
City Plaza, right next to Temper.
I need a damn shower is what I need.
You can also visit them online at impressjewelers.com.
Shower every morning.
Personal growth is the
Dude, I'm like, I always shower before I come into work, and I wasn't able to today because of the kid. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't like being this dirty.
I'll have to show tonight.
Bethel is where students realize that your faith life and
Coach's show tonight.
don't have to be separate.
Mm.
Adults, finish your degree and
I'm watching Letterkenny tonight. Does that count as a show?
and spiritual growth at Bethel
Letterkenny?
College. Start with a transfer-friendly approach.
Canadian
Find
comedy.
credits for prior learning
Oh.
and even work experience.
Comedy's
Set
comedy.
yourself up to finish faster and save money. Add adult
It is
classes
quirky as hell and funny.
and finish courses in only 7 weeks. That's only 7 classes per course. Make the personal connection on campus and the small class sizes with individual
Wi-Fi
attention
is being
and
weird
connect
again.
with the professors
Is
and
it?
take active roles as community
Oh.
and industry
I'm getting
leaders.
Hardline seems okay. I haven't dropped anything yet.
Online
I have
programs.
nothing but,
Personal growth is
buffering.
Bethel College. Apply today. Online.
Is that on YouTube? It might just be YouTube. Just refresh it. Sometimes it does that on the feed and it's not your internet. Oh, Michael and Speed are all in Letterkenny. Dude, that show is so funny.
You've been wanting to do something about it, but you have lots of
I've already committed myself to saying pitter patter way more than I used to. So
provide the right balanced solution to meet your needs. Whether that's getting you out of pain, improving your appearance, or improving your overall dental health. No insurance, no problem. You don't have to have dental insurance to get great care from AFDEN. We have easy payment plans to fit almost any budget, including 0% APR for those who qualify.
yeah, Tim Pool's on YouTube. I didn't know he did that. I'll look at it.
Credit. Call today at
That's interesting.
277-2220 or visit us on the web at
The thing is, if you don't get the attack, you have to get the people, right?
It's all about
Because they can't just attack the guy in a blind spot and then disappear. I'm telling you, this is some domestic thing that happened, and
Everyone loves to shop.
you needed a way to explain it.
Of meeting a famous politician in the Hermes store in Paris.
To my unforgettable experience test driving my first 600 horsepower car, in which I said, I'll take it before it even hits 60 miles an hour.
We're pretty sure everyone has at least one unforgettable shopping experience. Hello, we are Carrie and
No, it is not South Park show.
Have you ever considered shopping for your next income? We don't mean your next job. Walk into Income Store's website.
I'm on, I think it's season 2, or it just got into season 3.
You're going to enter our website on the left. If you've got more money than time.
Hell yeah, I recommend Man in the High Castle.
If you're looking to
That show's amazing. That right there is worth the price of Amazon Prime.
brand new, greatest shopping memory, all you have to do is change where you shop.
That, and then you have the Grand Tour.
IncomeStore.com.
Got both of those shows. That pays for your Amazon Prime right there.
is match time only in R&B Car Company. That means you'll get $2,500 minimum for your trade-in, or we'll match your tax check up to $2,500.
So Letterkenny's on Hulu. That's where I'm watching it. I didn't know it was on YouTube.
Where you'll get $2,500 minimum for your trade, or we'll match your tax check up to $2,500.
Yeah, man. The Man in the High Castle. I love that show. Every year has been better than the previous. Jack Ryan's okay. Only a couple of episodes into it. And good afternoon.
Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number, 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. And please put MNC at the beginning of that message. I didn't forget the bottle of bleach. I talked about the bleach. Somebody sent me a text that you forgot about the bleach. No. The bleach, unless there was an actual bottle of bleach that had been materialized somewhere, but we talked about the bleach freezing in those temperatures, so that seems a little strange. Somebody asked, what Subway is open at 2 a.m.? Okay, this is where my elitist big city background snobbiness comes in. Subways are open at 2 a.m. literally everywhere else but here. Y'all weird. When I moved here and I went to a grocery store and it was closed, I didn't know what to do with myself because they don't close where I'm from, and your fast food joints are all open all night. So it's very, very strange. It took some getting used to. So downtown Chicago, I would fully expect the Subway to be open, and he does have a sandwich on the tape. So I don't doubt that he bought a sandwich at Subway, but wish Subway were open all night here. Anyway, 574-25-95, 95.3. That is 2595-953. Now let's talk about Virginia. There's now a fourth person in Virginia who's going down. Virginia is going to fall into the ocean or something. I mean, this or the swamp, I guess, technically. This is so you got the governor, right? So the governor comes out and says, by the way, stop, time out. Before we get into this, hold on a second. I want to back up because I posted this on social media the other day. All right. The governor of Virginia goes on a radio program and says a child should be born, made comfortable, and then if the mom wants us to, we'll kill it. And nobody on the left was mad. That same governor in 1984 wore blackface at a college party, and now they want his head. Do you see a problem with their priorities here? Okay. You kill a born baby, not upsetting. Wear an offensive costume in the 1980s, he must be destroyed. Kill baby, not so bad. Costume offensive, very bad. Get it? Priorities are way messed up here. So this is how this all got started, right? So this guy goes out there and he says that, a baby should be born, we'll make it comfortable, and then we'll kill it, okay? That got pro-lifers really upset. It got a lot of pro-choicers upset. And then we ended up finding out that there was this blackface photo of him in the yearbook from, was it med school, I guess it was. So now... as we go on, we find out that everybody wants him to step down now because, killing babies is not a big deal, but, you can't wear costumes. So now they demand that he steps down. The problem is that the lieutenant governor has been accused of sexual assault, not harassment, assault. So the lieutenant governor is now under fire. We find out that the Washington Post had been informed about this. He lashes out and says that the Washington Post investigated the allegations and they chose not to run the story because there was no evidence corroborating it. The Washington Post comes out and goes, no, that's not true. We didn't run into any problems corroborating any of this, which then led the political right to go, then why didn't you publish anything about this? I mean, this guy just ran a racially motivated campaign. He had a truck with a Confederate flag on it chasing kids, little black kids and Hispanic kids, trying to run them over. That was his campaign ad. You remember that? Okay, that's what he said the Republican opponent would do. Right? So now, you had the conservatives out there going, wait a minute, Washington Post. why didn't you publish this information that the lieutenant governor had been accused of sexually assaulting this woman? The Washington Post still hasn't responded to that, to my knowledge. And of course, the Washington Post went after Kavanaugh. There is no corroborating evidence against Kavanaugh, none whatsoever. So the absolute undeniable bias here with how the media is treating the lieutenant governor of Virginia, Fairfax, and Kavanaugh is it's not to be unbelieved or not believed. It is certainly understandable. It is certainly predictable. But holy smokes, the compare and contrast to that is just unreal. So the lieutenant governor's out there, right? So then we find out that the attorney general also wore blackface. And now we're finding out that the other guy, who is the other guy? I don't know the other guy's name right now. I don't have it in front. I thought I saved it, but it's not my show prep. So now there's another guy, fourth guy, who knew about the sexual assault allegations against the lieutenant governor, didn't say anything, but this guy went after Kavanaugh and said that Kavanaugh shouldn't be confirmed to the Supreme Court. What? Can we stop for just a second and can we just, I don't know, agree on some basics here? One, you're innocent until proven guilty. Everybody deserves to be heard, okay? If somebody makes an allegation, we've got to listen to it, we've got to evaluate it, but we also have to listen to the person who's been accused, okay? Makes basic fundamental tenet of our society. Next, if there's no evidence supporting the allegation, then the person's innocent. So we should probably back off and stop pretending that that person's guilty. We don't have any proof that they're guilty. There's no reason whatsoever to go out there and attack them as if they were guilty if we have no proof that they're guilty, okay? Basic fundamental tenet of our society. Next, regardless of who they are, what political party they belong to, whether they agree with your ideological philosophy on life or whatever, if you actually do this stuff, they should be condemned. Can we just agree on those three basic premises? Really? I mean, it does seem really so hard. But again, we're in a society where if our tribe does it, it's okay. If their tribe does it, it's the worst evil ever committed against another human being. So you've got a guy with a history of doing racist things, running a campaign ad accusing his opponent of being a racist. You've got several people in the Virginia government who actively were against Kavanaugh's confirmation and attacking Kavanaugh for being a sexual assaulter, even though Kavanaugh has sexually assaulted nobody and has been exonerated of all of those charges. And those people themselves have also been accused of it. Then you've got the press who ran with unsubstantiated claims against Kavanaugh while hiding claims against other people in the Democratic Party. What on earth is happening? So this is all, like I said, Virginia's a mess right now. By the time they get done with this, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? The media will defend, the local party will defend. Pelosi just avoided the whole conversation today. She said, oh, Virginia's got to take care of it themselves. These are really talented people in Virginia. She just avoided talking about it. I thought we were supposed to believe all women. Where did that go? Got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. MNC News Time is 4:31. Time to check out Masters Heating and Air Conditioning online at mastersheatcool.com. Masters gets there faster.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather. News channel on 95.3 FM, the 95.3 MNC skill on Alexa, and 95.3mnc.com.
I'm Tommy Lee in the MNC News Center, and among our
Yeah, believe all women, exactly.
A Logansport High School senior who was on the honor roll was accused of killing someone she went to school with.
18-year-old Braden Berkshire was arrested Monday for reckless homicide and obstruction of justice in connection to the death of 18-year-old Nathan Hopper. He was found with a fatal gunshot wound in a Miami County home on Sunday. Details of the relationship between the two remain unclear. Berkshire was released from jail on a $15,000 bond.
All right.
And former Indiana Congressman Todd Rokita has a new job.
Indianapolis-based Apex Benefits has added to its range, says General
Gabriel is calling.
The benefit strategy.
Thanks for the thumbs up, whomever you are. I'll go grab some hot water. Be right back.
Michiana's news channel. Would you like to talk to Casey?
Hi, Gabriel.
Apex says he'll also
Can I ask what you're calling about?
efforts to drive positive transformation of health care and employee benefits issues.
Okay,
Martinez represented Indiana's 4th District from 2011 till last month. He had sought the Republican nomination for then-Senator Joe Donnelly's seat, but lost to Mike Braun in the primary.
95.3 MNC's Darren Wright reporting.
Fox News, I'm Rich Dennison. President Trump is going after the head of the House Intelligence Committee.
President Trump lashing out on Twitter against House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff, accusing him of unlimited presidential harassment after Schiff announced a sweeping new investigation into the president's foreign business dealings.
Fox's John Decker at the White House. A sell-off on Wall Street. Investor concerns over trade with China pushing indexes lower today. The Dow falling 221 points.
I did a game over. She's running from the
Baseball Hall of Famer Frank Robinson died. Outfielder was with 5 teams and was the first most valuable player award in both the National
All right.
and American leagues. He was also baseball's first black manager. Robinson was
Well, and the thing about the whole wait and see thing, they did that with Keith Ellison too. So as Kavanaugh was guilty of everything in spite of the fact that there was no evidence against him, Ellison was innocent until proven guilty at the exact same time.
Temperatures near 50 this afternoon in a free fall this evening and in the teens by the morning.
But
Wind will howl tonight, gusts in excess of 40
who is this? Bobby Scott, Virginia Democratic Representative Bobby Scott is this fourth dude. So she told him, the victim told the Democratic Representative Bobby Scott in 2017 that the Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax assaulted her. And he said nothing while lobbying against Kavanaugh.
Someone's trying to break into my home. They're right at the front door. We're notifying the authorities. I'll stay on the line with you until they arrive. What good'll that do?
It's your single source for personal protection. Stop in today for the largest selection.
I'm starting to crash and burn on the road.
Personal protection solutions for 2,000 guns in stock today with
It's been a bad day for coughing.
online at cxgun.com. Protect yourself and loved ones today at CXGun.
Hi, I'm Dr. Terrence Mahoney. For over 30
Okay, because I know it's like in the front, I think just a little bit to the right of the center. I just got to see if I can get to it from without taking anything off. I don't really want to take everything off. I don't have time to do that.
You can discover if dentures
I know that you said you were going to take something off to make it easier, but
attend our denture and implant information night at Mahoney Family Dentistry Wednesday, February 13th.
I'll look at it.
So reserve your seat right away.
I'll try and look at it tomorrow because I don't think I'm going to have time today. And then I'll let you know. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Call 255-4600.
Am I eating my farmer's friends today? Huh? Fisherman friends?
Cough drops. The menthol.
Oh, no. I'm out of those. I just have Halls. Those are my last Halls. Hall sucks balls. It's not good. But it's better than nothing, I guess. Slight little bit of menthol. Fisherman's friends are basically think of it like you're a fisherman on the sea. You're on the Black Sea. It's like super cold. Your throat probably sucks. And that's what they were, I guess, originally designed for, is like fishermen. Wow, my video on YouTube froze in a really unflattering screenshot.
Weather hits. The right wiper blades make all the difference.
No, Ellison wasn't proven guilty because his ex never turned over the video that she claimed she had. And the moment she refused to turn it over, but the compare and contrast of the coverage of those two at the same time was just, it was crazy.
You can see available at Walmart, Pet Boys, Amazon, and other fine retailers.
As I was out driving this week, I couldn't help but notice all the bumpy roads and potholes, which make our driving hazardous and unpredictable. These bumpy roads also seem to get worse the more that we patch them instead of fix them. Guess what? That same principle.
Did you know that there is a Netflix-like service for pornography.
Or you can decide to fix your problems. Using catch-up remedies over and over again for back
Some like
pain only
young lady started it.
If you're tired of having the same back and neck problems,
Well, I guess she's like a producer.
call us at
So she created it to have high quality adult content that is subscription based,
massage therapy,
like Netflix,
exercise programs, and
as opposed to a catch-all like Pornhub,
complete corrective care.
I guess is the idea.
And back in the game of life.
The Daily Beast interviewed her.
Call us at Warren Chiropractic, 679-0100.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Miller with Good Faith Management. And
Google is trying to kill off URLs.
If you own a house and want to sell it fast and for a fair
URLs.
price, call me at 574-621-3277. I can pay cash and close in as little
The
as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition.
supercharger also an Altoids. Stop making me laugh.
Private real estate investment
What was I talking about?
buys several houses a month, and I want to buy
Why are they
Oh,
doing
URLs.
that?
They're just trying to make them a little bit like sleeker, I think.
inherited houses.
The infrastructure will be the same. They just won't look like that. You'll just go like, instead of going dot whatever or whatever, you'll just be going like, oh, Google.
Great, because I love buying damaged houses too.
Instead of google.com,
Vacant houses, abandoned
no
houses,
HTTP, it's just going to type it in and it'll go to it. So,
If
I
you
don't
own a
know.
house and want to sell it fast, call me at 574-621-3277.
Everything on the back end will be the same. It's just on the front end, it'll look different.
621-3277.
Talk radio that talks with you, not at you. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. Casey Hendrickson.
Oi. Here. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. And please put MNC at the beginning of that message. Somebody said that the subways, there's lots of subways open 24/7 for drinkers and stoners in Chicago. It's like a 24/7 subway. That's like normal for me. I said it took a while to figure out, oh, this is a normal place that closes down at night. And there was a couple of times when I was doing the morning show, like I would pull into a fast food restaurant and be like, yo, I'd like some food. And they go, no, we don't serve food for like another 4 hours. What the heck are you open for? Oh, for coffee. What? So stick some hash browns in the warmer while you're there and just give me some hash browns. Makes no sense for a fast food joint to be open at 3 or 4 in the morning and not serve food. Sorry, that's just stupid. Anyway, 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. What? I'll get to him. All right. We have Gabriel. Welcome to the program.
Hey, what's up?
Not much, man.
I had a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it racist if I dress up as the governor of Virginia wearing blackface?
Yes.
Even if he's wearing blackface?
Totally. Yes. You're white, right?
I was looking up Halloween ideas.
Yeah. Are you white?
Yeah, I'm white.
Yeah, you can't do that. Now, if you were not white, yeah, you could totally do that. Because then you're making fun of racism. Otherwise, you're just a racist making fun of racists who got caught.
But what if I'm not racist?
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah, you're white, right?
That was worth a shot.
Yeah, you're white, so you're racist. That's how it works, man. Sorry. It's not fair. Sorry, I'm going to die over here. It's not fair, but that's just kind of how it is. So that'd be an interesting costume idea, though. Now, if you want to do it and take pictures of it and put it on Facebook, you let me know. Because I want to track the reaction to that. That would be interesting. All right, man. Okay. Take care. It's an interesting thought, though. So you're a white guy dressing up like a white guy who's dressing up like a black guy. But yeah, no, can't do that. I still can't believe he was going to bust out the moonwalk at that press conference. What was that guy thinking, man? Holy smokes. Kudos to the reporter for asking, by the way, because the reporter was baiting him.
Can you still do the moonwalk? You're looking around like he was going to do it. His wife is like, not appropriate. Okay, I got to stop laughing. I got to get to more serious stuff. Oh, by the way, the fourth person in Virginia that I was thinking of was Virginia Democratic Representative Bobby Scott, the woman who is allegedly sexually assaulted by the Lieutenant Governor, Justin Fairfax, told the Virginia Democratic Representative Bobby Scott that she was assaulted in 2017. Scott didn't tell anybody, and then Scott lobbied to not have Kavanaugh confirmed. So that's the fourth guy, the congressional Democrat from Virginia. That's where that story came from. All right. 574-2595-95-3. Brenda, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering, do you know the history of blackface, how it actually came to be?
Oh.
And the story that I heard was that way back in the day, blacks weren't allowed to entertain to a white audience.
I've heard something similar, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what they did. So the blackface started with the blacks, and you can't blame them. That's what they did. So the white entertainers saw this, and the white entertainers were always kind of a little bit on the outs of society, and they felt sympathetic towards the black people. So they started putting on blackface themselves to show solidarity with the black people.
Oh, it was a solidarity type thing?
Yeah, yeah. That's basically.
I'll have to look that up.
Whites were in blackface too. Now, this is what I always heard, and in fact, I believe I heard some of it from some black blues artists from when we were talking about this. But that's how blackface got started. The blacks would take and put on this stuff so they looked like they could be white folks just putting on the black.
Interesting.
And then it came on down, and the whites showed that they were kind of standing with them, so they started putting on blackface.
I mean, I'd have to look it up. I don't know enough about it. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
What I do know is that let's just say what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
None of that matters.
No, I don't think it does either.
Yeah,
and it all goes into entertainment. And then, of course, everyone kind of drifted away from that. And the white people started going to see black folks because they wanted to hear the blues. And I don't know if you're familiar with W.C. Handy.
Of course.
But, down there on Beale Street, the white folks were coming into the joints to listen to blues all the time. And stuff, and that
because it's one of the greatest art forms ever created by humans. The blues,
I think
the blues
so
is
too,
amazing. Yep. You know, I used to do B.B. King's Pest Control.
Oh yeah.
He had a Vegas vacation house, and I used to do his pest control. He was rarely there. I got to meet him a couple of times. One of the nicest guys you will ever meet. And
I got to go see Ray Charles.
Oh, nice.
And I was just absolutely so excited. But B.B. King was at that point in time, my husband was playing in a blues band, and I could never get him to do W.C. Handy's song. So the only one they ever did
He's a legend.
St. Louis Woman or St. Louis Blues. That was the only one they would do, and there was only one woman that could really sing it really, really well.
How about that?
But
well, I'll look in on the history of it because that's it. I thought I'd heard something a little similar, but I didn't have all the details like what you kind of went into. But I'll look into it. I mean, just nothing else. My curiosity.
I always thought. So anyway, thanks a lot for taking my call. I appreciate it. Have a good day and get over your cold.
I'm trying. Well, it's pneumonia. I'm trying, but thank you.
Well, you don't need that. All right, bye bye.
Take care. I wish it were just a cold. See, now what I have to do is I have to say no, it's pneumonia, because I have to make sure that everybody knows that I am truly heroic for even being here. We got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3.
Your breaking news and weather station.
So there's a really good post today. I think Ash Show did it on the Daily Wire. All the late night comedians that have done blackface and all of the daytime show hosts who have done blackface. Nobody's calling for Kimmel to be fired. He's done blackface several times. He's dressed up like Karl Malone. He's dressed up like Chris Rock. Joy Behar has admitted to doing blackface. Nobody's calling for her to be fired. So, he said it's real interesting. how we pick and choose our outrage.
By the afternoon and evening. Partly cloudy on Monday.
You got it, David.
Be a little messy by Tuesday.
I remembered the cable today. Could have forgot today. Today was chaos, but yeah, he dressed up like Karl Malone on the Man Show all the time.
In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Coombs.
95.3 MNC and St. Margaret's House.
Karl Malone was a great basketball player too, man.
In downtown South Bend.
God, he was fun to watch.
Raises awareness of the women and children who want to access services, no matter the weather. Money raised will benefit St. Margaret's House Day Center for women and children. Go to 953mnc.com.
Impress with Impress.
Also, Thermodyne.
Thermodyne.
My name's Dave Titus with International RV. One of the things that we see people that are really concerned with is whether they can actually afford an RV or not. They see these big things going down the road, and oh my gosh, I could never have one of those. And we have units that start at around $100 a month. It's all about the fun. Sitting around the campfire with your wife in the evening, with your kids, or taking a stroll on the beach, or having that private weekend that it really didn't cost you hardly any money, but you had a great time. My salespeople will spend quite a bit of time trying to figure out what they're wanting to do with an RV, where they're wanting to go, how they're going to use it, and we try to make it real. I don't like high pressure. I don't like having my arms twisted. I don't like all of the extra costs at the end.
Oh, is that what
those are quoted price? That's what it is.
Hero shooters.
We don't play all the typical used car salesman games.
Different character, like a different.
It's 2 miles north of bypass on Highway 19 in Elkhart.
Called hero
At
shooters.
International RV
Okay.
Wholesalers.net.
Like Overwatch.
Hey, to all the men out there, my name is
Hero
Tina,
shooters.
and I want to
All
share
right.
a recent experience with you. Let's talk male performance in the bedroom.
Now I
Okay,
know.
so I've been with this guy for
Nodding
years,
is half
and
the
he's
battle.
fantastic at almost everything he does, with the exception of our life in the bedroom. Not long ago, he shocked me with more strength and passion than he has had in years. He performed in the bedroom like when we were in college. It was so exciting, and today his performance is better than ever. I asked him what has gotten into you, and with a huge smile he said, Noxitril, the natural super pill that is better than anything he's ever taken. No stuffy nose, no headaches, just incredible results. Now I'm a huge fan of Noxitril. Hey, if you want a sure thing in the bedroom, call Noxitril today. They have a free bottle offer, so do yourself a favor and call now.
Find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-551-4182. That's 800-551-4182. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-551-4182. That's 800-551-4182.
It's time to get dirt rich with new
Dirt rich, fool.
Evo 2.0 corn seed treatment. The increase in microbial activity in the soil helps get more nutrients to the plant, and you get an average 3.8 bushel per acre yield increase over the original Pancho Votivo, all with the trusted insect and nematode protection you're used to. So be dirt
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because
Hottie.
that's smart.
I call her
Ask your
Casey
seed dealer
Yeah.
for the new Pancho Votivo 2.0
She's
today.
getting married.
She is getting married. I saw that.
Always read and follow label directions.
Tired of clicking a link and getting blocked?
What a
because
shame.
You don't subscribe to the paper? Read all the news you want when you want with Press
I
Read,
like her
a
face.
service of Elkhart Public Library.
I don't have a problem with her
Get
face.
started today with your library card at MyEP.
Besides, you're not looking at her face when you're looking at her butt.
Headlines. Whether you're into the Tribune or the Sun-Times, Press
Gotta have your
Read
priorities,
has
man.
more.
Nobody's perfect.
Headlines every day with your Elkhart Public Library card, and it's free. Visit myepl.org/headlines. Download the app and start reading. Elkhart Public Library. Informing all communities.
We keep you updated all night long with the show. Tune in weeknights 9 till midnight on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595-953. And I want to tell you about Impress Jewelry Creations. Valentine's Day is coming up. Now, obviously, I'm going to tell the guys to go there and pick up something for you ladies because, frankly, you deserve it. But guess what? So does he. And if you go to Impress Jewelry Creations, they got tons of stuff just for men. The William Henry collection is amazing. We are talking about Damascus knives that are made with just these beautiful inlays
And Damascus is, for those of you who don't know, is just one of the most stunning types of steel. And it can be made several different ways, several different patterns. It's just amazing looking. And it performs really well. And you got, these amazing inlays, the handcrafted artisanship when it comes to the bolsters, handle material made from, woolly mammoth. Just amazing stuff. Okay. Just the materials are extremely rare. They're exquisite. They're high end. I'm telling you right now, any guy out there would appreciate a knife from the William Henry collection. They've got watches too, like you wouldn't believe. And let's face it, guys love a good watch. And ladies, if you're looking to get your man something special for Valentine's Day, go to Impress Jewelry Creations and you can get them any of these things. They got tons of other stuff there. If you're looking for rings or bracelets or even an elegant pen that is handcrafted too with rare materials, they have that. Money clips, tons of stuff for the guy in your life. You can also visit them online at impressjewelers.com. And of course, when you go into Impress Jewelry Creations, make sure you let them know that I sent you. They're in City Plaza, right next to Temper Grill and C. Kramer Interiors on University Park Drive. And again, just let them know that I sent you over there. It's the best place to go shopping for Valentine's Day, whether you're buying for a man or a woman, period, end of story. Impress with Impress Jewelry Creations. All right, 574-2595, 95.3. Saw Joe clapping for the watches over there. So Joe's significant other knows what to get him because he's made that crystal clear to me, at least. So, nothing wrong with that. All right, so Google is trying to kill off your URL. So Google is actively looking to change the way that we surf the web. Now, this is kind of interesting. This is out of Wired magazine. In September, members of Google's Chrome security team put forth a radical proposal: kill off URLs as we know them. The researchers are not actually advocating a change to the web's underlying infrastructure, okay? So we're not changing the whole internet. They do, though, want to rework how browsers convey that website that you're looking at so that you don't have to contend with increasingly long and unintelligible URLs. We always get these stories every couple of years. We're running out of URLs, which is the website address. We're running out of the website address. We're not, okay? So long as there are words and numbers, ladies and gentlemen, we can never run out of URLs. However, somebody is on my... There we go.
Yeah, it's rolling. I don't know how I got right to it.
I don't know either. You're on the air right now. Oops, we lost him. Rolling call back. Stop making me laugh, man. I have pneumonia. It's not okay. Good Lord. I'm seeing stars right now, man. You can't do that to me. Gee, sorry, Rolling. Call back. And the new guy will screen your call. Jeez. Okay, back to the story. It's not a train wreck at all. No train wreck just happened. All right. So we're not running out of website addresses, but they are getting longer, more complicated. Okay, so now that fraud has started to spring up around these long URLs. You can't remember every single thing. It's funny, actually. Somebody sent me a URL yesterday, and they got one letter wrong and sent me to a different website, and then they corrected it, and I'm appreciative that they corrected it, but it can be difficult sometimes. Let's see. In a talk at a Bay Area Enigma security conference on Tuesday, Chrome usable security lead Emily Stark. Ha! You're kidding. She's named Emily Stark. That's all right. For my geeks out there, that was funny. Is wading into the controversy, detailing Google's first steps towards more robust website identity. Stark emphasizes that Google isn't trying to induce chaos by eliminating URLs. Rather, it wants to make it harder for hackers to capitalize on user confusion about the identity of a website. Currently, the endless haze of complicated URLs gives attacks over the effective scam. Attackers cover for effective scams. They can create a malicious link that seems to lead to a legitimate site, but actually automatically redirects victims to a phishing page. Or they can design malicious pages with URLs that look similar to the real ones, hoping that victims won't notice. And let's face it, many people don't notice because I get a lot of people sending me fake news articles from fake websites like this. With so many URL shenanigans to combat, the Chrome team is already at work on 2 projects to bring users some clarity. Quote, what we're really talking about is changing the way that site identity is presented. People should know easily what site they're on, and they shouldn't be confused into thinking that they're on another site. It shouldn't take advanced knowledge of how the internet works to figure that out. So the Chrome's team's efforts so far focus on figuring out how to detect URLs that seem to deviate in some way from standard practice. The foundation for this is an open source tool called Trick URI, launching in step with Stark's conference talk, that helps developers check that their software is displaying URLs accurately and consistently. For Google users, the first line of defense against phishing and other online scams is the company's safe browsing platform, which you can go ahead and get for free. So they're not looking at changing everything, but they're looking at tweaking it. So the internet's going to function exactly the same. So you don't need to be all worried that you have to learn a new internet system or anything. The idea is to make it easier for you to know what website you're on, and make it easier for your security software to detect any potential fraudulent websites that you might be on. And that is, of course, to protect you against being scammed, phishing attacks, that sort of stuff, and hopefully protect your data, protect your identity, and protect your files and everything else that you might have. Of course, the other thing you could do is just get a data bunker, but we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. You know what? No, forget it. I'm going to talk about data bunker right now. Because if you don't want to have to worry about this stuff, then stop storing your sensitive information in the cloud. How about that? Did you see that Apple keeps turning over people's information from iCloud? They keep turning it over to the feds. Okay, cool. Well, maybe you don't want the feds to have that information for whatever reason, ladies and gentlemen. It's none of my business. So if you go get a data bunker, okay, databunker1.com, that's databunker and the number 1.com, you can keep your sensitive files off of the cloud. You can protect them in a device that is hurricane-proof, tornado-proof, fire-proof, waterproof, and even nuclear EMP-proof. Go to their website, databunker1.com. Again, that's databunker and the number 1.com. Look at the amazing tests that they have done on this device. It is approved for travel by the TSA, fits in a briefcase. It is perfect for government and business as well as personal use. Databunker1.com.
WTR.
CFM at HD1. Niles, South Bend, Elkhart.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's News Channel.
Your top stories right now. The president calls it harassment.
Well, Chris, they tried to get adult websites to be a .xxx instead of a .com. So
there, that is the third message I have mainly had to let show, because during the blackface segment, it had a couple messages come up that were like, "This message has been automatically screened."
I turned some stuff on. So when I did my live streaming of the State of the Union, my live stream software filtered out the word God. It put stars on it.
Meantime, the House Intelligence Committee renewed
God.
expanding its Russia probe. President Trump
Not goddamn, not goddamn it, God. Any use of God. And I actually commented underneath one of them, I said, did this really just filter out the word God? And it filtered that out. Censored it. So we're putting that in line with all of these other things. Holy smokes.
The top Republican elected in Virginia now joins
Oh.
the top Democrat
All right.
under scrutiny. A new report in the Virginia pilot alleges that the state's top Republican
I want to go home.
leader Tommy
Get
Norton
an hour.
oversaw the yearbook in 1960.
I have more than an hour to go.
Instituted the yearbook
Because I have to do stuff.
Does Amazon come to South Bend?
including photos with people in blackface. Ellison Barber in Richmond, where the governor and state attorney general have admitted
No, they're not going to come to South Bend.
decades ago, while the lieutenant
They've already declined South Bend's offer. Stop it. They're not coming to South Bend.
stores can stay open at least for now. A bankruptcy judge today approving the more than $5 billion sale to Sears chairman and biggest shareholder Eddie Lampert to keep the iconic business going. This is Fox News.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. Michiana's News Channel on 95.3 FM, the 95.3 MNC app, and online at 95.3mnc.com.
I'm Tommy Lee in the MNC News Center, and among our top stories this afternoon, an 8-week-old infant died Tuesday, and LaPorte County Police are now conducting a death investigation. The infant was taken to a hospital in Michigan City who contacted the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office on February 1st. The child was transported to the Homer Children's Hospital in Chicago was declared dead late Tuesday morning. An autopsy is scheduled for today in Cook County. The city of Warsaw is one step closer to installing a safe haven baby box.
The Times Union reports it would go near the fire living quarters at Fire Station 2.
I had moved on. Rolling call back.
No questions asked. Right to Life of North Central Indiana has agreed to pay the $10,000 price tag and the $200 annual service.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, Roland. Like, no clue. It was weird.
Button like I always do.
It was on the left-hand side over here. It wasn't on the right.
Yeah, I know.
So it shouldn't have potted him up on my end. I don't know what happened.
Has been named as the suspect in a domestic disturbance on Lexington Avenue.
William Henry.
Took off with police in hot pursuit on
I think they start off at $1,100. They are beautiful.
Officers were looking for Uvalde around the Hunters Pond apartment complex after he abandoned his vehicle.
The William Henry Collection.
Were brought in to search for him. He was spotted walking out of a storage shed in the area.
Yeah.
Taken into custody.
95.3 MNC's John Zimney reported
They are stunning.
in Benton Harbor to educate people about Michigan's recreational marijuana law.
It's happening on the 3rd floor at City Hall, and local and state law enforcement officials will be there to talk about state and federal
Yeah, my
laws.
throat's starting to say, nope, done.
Due to the lack of knowledge of the new recreational pot law in the state. The event is being sponsored
What's that?
by the Sharp
NASA's Day of
Foundation
Remembrance.
Benton Harbor.
Astronauts who lost their lives in
Served up by the
launches, crashes, and
delicious
stuff.
Yeah.
specials. Tuesday meatloaf. Thursday
Roland's asking, can I advocate looking at women's butts? That's misogynistic. Or is it being a normal man? Yes to all of the above. Here's the thing. I hang out with women who work on their butt and love guys paying attention to it. So I know a lot. I know a lot of athletes. I know a lot of fitness competitors, and you know they work really hard on their bodies. And when a guy says your ass looks amazing, they love it because they put a lot of work and effort into it. It's not about me hitting on them or anybody else hitting on them or anything like that. It's just appreciating the effort that they've put into taking care of themselves and working. And those are big differences, I guess, in the way that some people behave themselves. But I choose to surround myself with quality people.
Apparently, Mary Poppins is racist.
Yes, we've talked about that.
But apparently, I've done blackface because of that, because I did Mary Poppins and I was in that scene.
Joe's a racist.
Yay.
He should resign. You have pictures? Can we post pictures?
Not of.
Because I need to post pictures of it.
Because I was never in it on there. Because I had to put it on real quick, get on stage, and then take it off because I have another character who was on scene for the next scene. So I was never in on to take pictures.
Well, now the coal miners, they're in blackface. I think you gotta be kidding me.
And don't forget to download their new app with new and exciting things coming throughout the year. Keep your car happy and clean this winter with Parkwood Auto Spa's unlimited monthly car wash packages starting at just.
Well, I mean, look, the thing is, women look at arms and chests. They look at butts too. There's nothing wrong with it. You just can't be creepy about it. You can't be a jerk about it. But there's nothing wrong with admiring stuff.
2 cigarettes, 3 cigarettes. It wasn't a habit.
I wouldn't recommend running around at work and telling everybody at work that their butt looks amazing. That's a little dangerous. But when you know a lot of athletes, you know, who work on those things like I do, they show it off and they want legitimate feedback on how it looks. So they get it.
Nicotine is an addictive chemical. 36 days. That's how long it takes the average company to find their time. Glassdoor can help you quickly find the right job candidate in half the resumes. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. And Glassdoor
My 8:30 a.m. professor.
They're 30% more likely to stay with your business longer. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
Talk radio that talks.
Yeah, it'd be interesting how much of the Man Show ends up getting pulled from YouTube. I'm surprised there hasn't been a campaign.
News Channel.
It's a good show, though. And good afternoon.
Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595-953. All right. I still a little under the weather. I think I'm on the mend, though. Although today I've had patches of cough that have been bad. A couple of times throughout the show, been bad, but I'm doing okay. I think I'm getting better. So people say that I sound much better today than I have been. So I appreciate that. People are asking about me, make sure I'm okay. I appreciate that you are concerned, or at least pretending to be concerned. Thank you for that. All right, 574-2595-953 is the phone number. Again, you can send me a text to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that. So we've got a couple of sad things to report today. First, Frank Robinson, who is baseball's first black manager, by the way, he's passed away. He's 83 years old and Hall of Famer and just a legend in baseball. And then today I lost another friend. Bob Massey passed away. Most of you know him as a legal analyst on Fox News. I worked with Bob when I was in Las Vegas radio. Really good guy. He's actually my attorney on a couple of occasions, and just a really, really good dude, and always took time out of his day to admire his fans, to reach out to his fans, to help people around him. Just one of those good guys in the business that you run into, you know. And for the most part, the radio business itself is got a good group of people that run it. Occasionally you run into somebody you just don't like, but everybody liked Bob. And I actually sent a message to Brian Kilmeade this morning and said, you know, I knew Bob. He's been a friend of mine for years, and I know that he was close with you guys, and just sent my condolences over there. And, you know, Brian sent back, he's like, he goes, I can't believe it. He's like, I didn't think he was sick. I was like, I didn't know he was sick either. He was battling cancer apparently, and he died at the age of 67. I had no idea that he was fighting that, but just one of the good guys, and he's going to be missed greatly. Quirky dude. He was always known for his hair. He always had interesting hair, but he was an oddball in the best ways possible, and we're going to miss Bob Massey quite a bit. All right, 574-2595-953. That is 2595-953. What do we have here? Oh, Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson is a racist. So it feels like there's been a theme today. Like a lot of social justice warring things out there. Now, for the record, I used to be a huge fan of Liam Neeson until the dude went all like anti-gun on me and kept talking about how we have a culture of killing and everything else. And to which me and several other people pointed out, maybe you should stop making movies that add to the culture of killing by making movies about killing people. Then maybe you could, change that culture if you're really concerned about it. A guy runs around and talks about how we shouldn't be celebrating death and all of that stuff, and that's all his movies are, for crying out loud. But he's admitted to having a thought that was not pure. Okay. The pushback, this is Paul Boyes, the pushback to actor Liam Neeson has continued to grow ever since he admitted to once having a dark thought about killing a black man in retaliation for a loved one's rape. Fox News reports that people on social media are demanding that he be digitally removed from the upcoming Men in Black International movie. Now, this is a reboot of the Men in Black franchise from the 90s, which was an amazing series, by the way. I really hope that it's not too late to digitally erase that racist bleep Liam Neeson from the new Men in Black movie, one Twitter user said. And incidentally, I posted a video on my website today at theburningtruth.us. I hope you're going to take some time and watch it, because it is all about public shaming via social media. And it goes back in time, kind of follows the history of public shaming and that sort of stuff, and then how we do it now and how we equate things that should be relatively minor with things that are absolutely heinous. For instance, Liam Neeson is just as bad to the people on social media as Harvey Weinstein is. But Harvey Weinstein was an actual predator. Liam Neeson had a thought that, depending on the context here, a thought that was unsavory but it was an emotional reaction to a loved one being harmed. Okay? And temporary, probably not in his character at all. I don't know Liam Neeson to be a bigot in any way, shape, or form. A hypocrite when it comes to firearms, but a bigot, no. I've never heard anything about that with Liam Neeson, right? So we're now equating what this guy said, 40 years ago. A thought, not even what he said, a thought that he had in his head 40 years ago. I haven't even been alive 40 years. So 40 years ago, this guy had a thought in his head because a loved one was seriously hurt and he was angry. So you could say it was temporary insanity, right? And we actually have a defense for that in our courts. And the real question is, in 40 years, has he done or said or behaved in any manner that would seem to suggest that this is who he is as an individual, or was it just one fleeting thought? Kind of interesting. Now, he should have known never to admit this stuff. You don't admit this stuff anymore. You can't, because, again, the public shaming will happen. So I posted this video about public shaming via the internet and social media on my website today. Go watch it, please. theburningtruth.us. Just spend some time. I think it's like 10 minutes long. It is so worth it. Just spend some time watching it because it's destroying our society. So anyway, the upcoming Men in Black film will feature Tessa Thompson, Chris Hemsworth as the starring roles. Liam Neeson will be playing a high-ranking agent in the same vein as Rip Torn's character from 1997's original. Calls for the Irish actor's banishment from the hit franchise erupted after an interview he gave with The Independent went viral, during which he opened up about some dark demons that he wrestled with 40 years ago upon learning of a loved one's rape. Quote, she handled the situation of the rape in the most extraordinary way, he said. I asked, did she know who it was? No. What color were they? She said it was a black person. I went up and down areas with a cosh. I don't know what that means. Hoping that I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that. And I did it for maybe a week, hoping that some, he then gestures air quotes with his fingers, some black bastard would come out of the pub and go at me so that way I could kill him. That's what he said in the interview. Okay. Now, again, this is a guy saying 40 years ago, I had this horrendous thought because of something tragic that happened to somebody close to me. And he's trying to vent it. And I assume there was a context. I didn't see the whole interview. I assume there's a context in why he was airing this. And I'm sure he was trying to make a broader point about how we can't let these sorts of things kind of get us out of sorts, if you will. But that has now become, Liam Neeson is the worst bigot that has ever existed in the history of human civilization. Okay. We go back to what we talked about with Virginia earlier. The governor of Virginia literally said, and I like the way that the president phrased this during the State of the Union, he said that we should execute a baby who has been born. And the left wasn't upset. But you find out in 1984, he wore black makeup in a costume that people find offensive today. And holy smokes, now they want him to step down. They want him to be erased from government, to not be able to go earn a living anymore. And it's like, wait a minute. He just advocated killing a baby. Which one is worse here? But it's kind of interesting how people behave with this stuff. So now they're going after Liam Neeson. They want him digitally erased from the new Men in Black movie. It's obviously a horrendous thought, because he's admitting that he was angry at all black men, not just the person who did it. But I said, I don't know what the context of why he was trying to say that. I'm sure he had a broader point. I didn't see the interview. But still, holy smokes. For something that happened 40 years ago. And he said, I'm ashamed that this happened 40 years ago. And still not good enough. Got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's.
Digitally insert Will Smith.
Super popular right now.
Yeah.
Your home comfort experts, heating specialists, 5-day.
Boy.
We end the week with a
man, it's starting to get to me.
Oh, would you like to talk to Casey? Are you calling about the Liam Neeson topic? Can I get your name, please?
Single digits Friday night.
Say that again.
Saturday, calmer, sunny, a high of 24.
Jerry?
32 on Sunday with a chance of snow showers by the afternoon and evening.
All right,
Partly
everybody
cloudy
get you
on
on
Monday,
there.
34. Could be a little messy by Tuesday. As highs top out in the upper 30s. There'll be a chance of rain
Need more
and
hot
snow
water.
as temperatures fall going into the middle of next week. ABC First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Combs.
95.3 MNC Weather Text Alerts are new and improved, customized, and faster than ever. To stay connected, text weather to 45364. Do it right now. Pick the counties you care about and get word of severe weather the very moment the alert is issued. Minutes matter. And that's why we've made our weather text alert service better than ever. Again, text weather to 45364 right now. Message and data rates apply. Complete privacy policy and terms and conditions available at 953mnc.com.
Give us a kiss. You heard that right. We're asking you for a kiss at Judy's 4th annual Pucker Up contest. Visit any of the 3 Judy Stores locations in Granger, LaPorte, or the newly opened store in Valparaiso between February 1st and February 14th. Then lend us your lips for a chance to win a $200 shopping spree plus a surprise Valentine's.
They should probably digitally remove Liam Neeson from every movie that he's been in with guns.
All the latest designs.
And then just have the gun floating around shooting.
44. Ready for Valentine's Day? But not sure what shade of red.
I remember the Men in Black cartoon.
Especially trained associates.
There was a cartoon.
Get a free color
I remember
style
that.
analysis on the spot. There's no purchase necessary. Simply visit any Judy store.
All right, I'm going to refresh YouTube chat.
With a kiss, and we'll even let you pick the winners. Each Judy store location will have a winner. You can win one or win them all, but you have to.
Is Roland still with us? What did he want to talk to me about? I don't know what he was calling about. He said I moved on by then. But... Oh, blackface.
Casey Hendrickson here. Valentine's Day is just around the corner.
Well, his wife is like really knowledgeable about the history of all that stuff.
You're shopping at Impress Jewelry Creations. They have an exceptional team of jewelers who have worked together for years.
And so sometimes he will call, and when the history of something like that comes up,
custom piece from Impress Jewelry Creations.
And kind of bring me up to speed on it.
Simon G, Soho, Martha Seeley Modern Jewelry, A. Jaffe, and wait until you see the.
He has a personal tip for me.
Stunning pieces made with woolly mammoth fossils and unique fossilized orange coral found in only one place in the entire world. They even have pieces made with meteorite which crashed to the earth millions of years ago. And most of the jewelry at Impress Jewelry.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I wasn't like an avid watcher of it, but I saw a few episodes. Oh, see, the last thing that I saw from Roland was that I had moved on, and then I had to go back and talk, and I missed what else he said. So he's got a personal tip.
You can also visit him online at impressjewelers.com.
I'll reach out to him later then if he's not still here.
Financial advisor and partner at Corhorn Financial Group. We're trying to help you reach your financial goals because we believe in your financial life. In order to do this effectively, you have to have...
Teacher defends her sexual relationship with her student by arguing that his grades improved.
CPAs, certified financial planners, and the certified insurance counselors.
She's cute too. I mean,
actually improve.
I think that she said that he got rewards for improving his grades. Is what I think ended up
At Corhorn Financial Group, all of those professionals are on
being the thing.
one place, and our customers come to
He asked if I still. Okay, that's a good question. I don't know if I still have his number. All right, I will. I'll reach out to Roland later today. I said, dude, I don't know where these teachers were when I was in school.
If you own a house and want to sell it fast and for
I mean, except for Miss Griffith, who was always joking about her favorite place on earth, which is the men's restroom.
I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any
She would be so fired right now. I wouldn't be surprised. I wish I knew her first name. I wouldn't be surprised if she's in jail. She was a good math teacher, though.
621-3277. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind them payment houses. I even buy my tenant will pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying damaged houses too. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 574-621-3277 for a cash offer today. That's 574-621-3277.
Why I might be
After last
gone.
week's freezing temperatures, wouldn't you like to warm up?
Okay.
Then get the hottest deal in town. Go to mydealsmichiana.com to sign up for Malibu Tanning's VIP membership for just $40. Over
Yeah,
half
just let him know.
off the original price.
And we'll work around all of that.
VIP membership gives you exclusive
Sorry, bud.
treatment and offers, including unlimited tanning at any location. Thaw out your frozen skin and fight the winter fight with
Let me know if you need anything.
from Malibu Tanning. Available only at mydealsmichiana.com. That's mydealsmichiana.com.
Heather Park McGill, Marion Ross. This is Cunningham from Happy Days, Friday night.
All right.
Michiana's Morning News on News Talk 95.3 MNC.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Treat your Valentines to dinner. Compliments of 95.3 MNC and Temper Grill in Granger. To enter to win a free dinner for two, text the word dinner right now to 45364. Message and data rates do apply. Complete privacy policy and everything else. That's all up at 953mnc.com. Again, text the word dinner right now to 45364. Best of luck. Happy Valentine's Day from 95.3 MNC. To the phone lines we go. Jerry, welcome to the program.
Yeah, how you doing, Casey?
Doing well, man.
Hey, you know, they talk about, I'm an old timer, so I can remember back when Kennedy got killed, President Kennedy, and everybody wanted to go kill the Cubans and the Russians because they all thought he was. And then 9/11 happened, and everybody wanted to go and kill, you know, a Saudi or something. So the guy said, you know, something happened. He made a remark like that. You know, everybody, you know, something happens. Everybody's always wanting to get revenge. It's just you spout off at your mouth. But, you know, today it seems like everybody just, you know, the minute you say something, you did something 40, 50 years ago, it's going to come back on you. Well, you know, 40, 50 years ago, you were planning to be where you're at today.
Yeah, and that's, you know? That's the thing. You know, it's like he's not saying that he feels this way now. He said he was ashamed of it, you know, but...
Well, it's I go to people that put, you know, that did the stuff in there when they were in high school and college, you know. I mean, they didn't plan to be where they're at today. You know, a lot of them could have been working at Walmart. As far as they knew, they had no, you know, idea what kids do. It's just got a point where it's stupid. You know, I think what President Trump said in the speech, you know, that we just need to get back to being a civilization again and stop the bull. I think he's pretty much right on that. Thank goodness he at least, you know, he's the first president I've heard in a long time that regarded God, you know, in his speech.
Yeah.
To bring us back, to try to reunite us. You know, and that's the thing. They need to reunite this country, you know.
Well, yeah, that's just it. There's legitimate squabbles to have. You know, we can debate about policy and things like that, but right now we don't fight about any of the big stuff. We fight about the stupid stuff. That's the thing that it drives me nuts. We fight about the dumb things, or we manufacture a big thing to fight about, like this stupid Green New Deal thing. Like there's nothing logical about any of that. So why is it even a debate? Or Pelosi's already killed the thing. It's like it's stupid. You know,
I know. You know, you go and you like me. When I was a young man, you know, I went into service. I did my 10 years in the service.
Okay.
In the Army. Went overseas, did everything I could to come back. And today, a lot of things I did over there, if they, you know, if it came back on me, I could lose my job over here because of the things you did. But you know, when you're doing what you're doing, at the time, it's just stupid. It's what is inside you. You know, that's what I say with his speech. Yeah, he might be rough around the edges. He might be a loudmouth, but you know, you could tell by the way his actions and his speech where his soul's at.
Sure.
And that's the reason I voted for the man.
There you go. All right.
But anyway, you have a good day, and I enjoy your show.
Thank you very much. You too. Appreciate it.
All right.
You know, I've told people before, you know, look, being from Las Vegas, Donald Trump was always around. Okay. He's always in Florida. He's always in Vegas. And, you know, his ex-wife used to have a building there. I don't think she still owns that. I think that went bankrupt. But, you know, he was always there. And the thing that I was trying to tell people, you know, there's a lot of people who knew who he was because of just, he's Donald Trump, right? He's been famous since the early 80s. And then, of course, Apprentice. You know, a lot of the younger people got to know Donald Trump because of The Apprentice, and they liked him. But we knew him because of stuff that he did in the community. You know, he was always around. You always got to see the guy. He was always very pleasant. He was always very nice. People comment about that all the time when they go to his rallies when he comes to town. They're like, I actually got to meet him. He's just one of the nicest guys. And I'm like, yeah, he's rough around the edges, but here's the thing. we've documented this. You go back and you look, he never throws the first punch. The only people he hits are people that have hit him. And, you know, he's rough around the edges. He's not as eloquent as he used to be. He used
3 minute stations.
He used to speak more eloquently than he does now. But there's a specific type of speech that he does that appeals to certain people. And that's it's, you know, this is a guy who studied how to do this for a very long time, how to present things and give sales pitches and things like that. A lot of people have heard me play his old speeches from 1983 and 1984, where he says the exact same things that he says now. A little bit nicer, a little bit more mellow, a little bit more eloquently. And now he says it a little bit more in plain terms. It's just something that appeals and works. We saw that work with George Bush. And then we saw Obama also use that, using sort of nebulous, open terminology. People can interpret the way that they want. And sometimes they'll interpret it a negative way. Sometimes they'll interpret it a positive way. But it's an actual, I've gone over, I don't remember the name of it. It's an actual type of speech that he uses now as a way to communicate to the masses that everybody gets and everybody understands, not just a certain segment of the population. So it's meant to be relatable to everybody. And there's a certain cadence that goes with that. Like I said, I read a whole article on it and I covered it. I just don't remember the specifics of what type of speech it's called. But it was very interesting with linguistics and linguists, you know, kind of breaking it down exactly what it is he's doing. And it's very purposeful. It's not him being adult, because he's not adult. He's a very smart guy. But, you know, people don't hear the stories of the kid who needs a transplant, but there's no plane available, and Donald Trump offering up his plane. They don't hear things like that. They don't hear about Donald Trump, you know, with his charitable endeavors and things of that nature that he did for years that nobody knew about. They don't hear stuff like that. They don't hear about him funding the Marine who was improperly imprisoned in Mexico when he got out. The guy who met him was Donald Trump. Okay, Donald Trump's the one that flew him back here, met him, and gave him money to rebuild his life. That was Donald Trump before he was a candidate for anything. You know, those are the stories that people forget about the guy. And he said, you run for politics, and if you're on the wrong side, you'll be demonized for various reasons. Once it's all over and he's out of office, be less than 2 years, all of these Hollywood celebrities are going to love him again. They're all going to want to go to his parties. They're going to want to go to his house. They're going to want him to be in their movies and their shows. And these members of the media are going to want to talk to him. They're going to have a friendly, cordial relationship with him, just like they do with George Bush, just like they do with Dick Cheney, just like they do with Mitt Romney, just like they did with John McCain, just like they did with Bob Dole, you know, just like they did even to a lesser extent with Ronald Reagan, because he got sick shortly after. But, you know, these are the things that they have done. They did it with George Bush Sr. too. So I have no doubt that Donald Trump will be very popular in Hollywood again once he's out of office. He's got to go, because right now he is the great Satan and everything else. And then, of course, we'll come back on and I will point out that, hey, remember that time as everybody's praising George Bush and Michelle Obama's relationship? Remember that time that she said these horrible racist things about him? And remember how he was literally Hitler and he wanted everybody in New Orleans to drown because of the color of their skin? Remember all of that? And all of those people now love George Bush because he's a sweet dude. Isn't that interesting how that works out? I don't know how you can go from being literally Hitler who wants to drown an entire black population in an entire major city in the U.S. to all of a sudden being a super awesome guy whose best friend is Michelle Obama. But Liam Neeson had a thought 40 years ago, and we've got to erase him from his next movie? Seems a little strange, don't you think? Got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. Michiana's news channel on the 95.3 MNC skill on Alexa and 95.3 MNC.
Oh, YouTube's only saying one watching? No, there's not one watching. I'll log into my admin here.
I got two.
Are they throttling me?
Was arrested Monday for reckless homicide and obstruction of justice in connection to the death.
Yeah, it shows two.
He was found with a
it shows two on my end.
On your end too?
Yup, on the admin end it says two. But it also says there's only been 2 messages.
Oh, now there's 3 because of you.
And former Indiana Congressman Todd Rokita.
Interesting. Yeah, they're bleeping up. So I have had steady growth in my per session views, and I'm wondering if YouTube is throttling it.
To drive positive transformation of healthcare and employee benefits.
So that way it doesn't show that I have as many views as I really have at the end of the day. Because obviously more of you are commenting than they're saying are viewing it. So interesting.
President Trump backing acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker for saying he'd refuse to appear before a House panel tomorrow unless he's assured law.
That should still count, though, Brian.
He's an outstanding person. I would say if he did testify.
First name, last name. That's funny. I wonder if YouTube, I mean, this is the tinfoil hat, Casey, here, but I wonder if they are throttling my actual viewers so that way it doesn't show.
Outside of the city, if that goes, civilians today are separated into lines by gender.
Yeah, I did get over 1,600 subscribers. That happened, I think, 2 weeks ago.
ISIS militants were looking to escape amid the refugees.
Donacy's 28? Interesting.
Would you like to talk to Casey?
That would be more in line. After 5, it dips down a little bit.
I'm moving on.
Yeah, we're moving on.
What are you going about, sir?
Exceptional food, tremendous service, and great people. Visit the
Oh, thumbs ups. Okay.
lunch or dinner.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialist, first
Interesting. Yeah, it shows 2 are watching and then 9 messages, which obviously isn't right.
Unfortunately, we have moved off from that topic, but you can call us tomorrow at 5 o'clock during open line. We'll gladly take a call.
That is funny.
You can call us to. We have moved on from that topic, but you can call us tomorrow at 5 o'clock during open lines. And you can call us. All right. Thank you very much.
So weird.
What we mean is the finest
The
YouTube thing
in Michiana. Surrounded by a craft beer, fine wine, champagne, and dessert list that is as unique and seasonal as our menu. At Temper Grill, Chef Sean works with the finest ingredients to deliver you an unmatched dining experience that changes every week to fit the time of the year and its mood, while always satisfying your taste buds. Visit Tuesday nights for half-price wine bottles, Wednesday for $2
Because there's
a
at least
visit Tuesdays to check out the list.
Well, and I usually have right about now between 28 and 35. So
That you do, yes. 21 and up. Explore our menu, buy gift cards, or make a simple dinner reservation at tempergranger.com.
Look at the bright side, Casey. You have 29 likes as opposed to your 2 watches.
yeah, I mean that's good. That's a heck of a like ratio. But it's funny because everybody's sounding off, and it's like, oh, I guess we don't count.
That's either an error in their system or that's purposeful. Someone's doing.
Yeah, so I'm tagging YouTube on Twitter right now. I'm like, it's showing 1 to 2 people watching my live stream, but there's dozens watching and chatting right now. Glitch or throttling my viewers? What gives?
Shares rising in the extended session.
Oh, cool. Mattel's still, they're doing well, I guess. That's when you own the 2 biggest toy car manufacturers.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Hot Wheels and Matchbox are owned by the same company, everybody.
Yes, which is why they're exactly the same.
Matchboxes are always kind of just a touch lower in quality.
Touch.
Not enough to really make a difference.
Yeah.
Touch lower in quality.
Brian's voting for throttling. Comet's calling them commie bastages, so.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was purposeful.
I wouldn't either, because so I get Stream Elements gives me my average every single day. After the stream ends, they email it to me, and it's been going like this for the past like 3 weeks. So I'm more visible now, and you've seen a lot more people who typically wouldn't show up on this channel going, hey, who is this guy? And so a lot more of that's happening, which means I'm more visible now as a result of the algorithm.
Sure the lower you're watching it, the lower you will be when someone goes to like whatever's live.
Exactly.
Chooses your category.
Right.
And so they would go through it, and you'd probably be like in the middle, and now you're probably down.
Because there's been a few times that I've looked just in here, and there's been over 50 people watching.
Yeah.
And that'll immediately bump you up into like page 2 on YouTube for live streams. So at this time of day. Yeah, pretty interesting to watch that happen. I'm just sitting here watching it. It's going 1, 2, 1, 2, 5 messages, 10 messages, 8 messages. It's back down to 5 again. One person's watching right now, so apparently I'm the only one watching my own stream.
I'm watching.
There's twice as many people in this room watching it than YouTube says is watching it.
Oh, now it says 2. Hold on.
Except when I forget my cords. So yesterday, I went downstairs to grab my cord. I set my backpack down, remembered that I had to grab my throat spray, and I put the throat spray in, and then I left and I forgot the stupid cord. So really, it's the pneumonia fault. Pneumonia's fault.
What's the latest in this lawsuit?
Which lawsuit?
The latest dumbest one.
Oh no, we're getting to that here right now. Nope, you're not crazy. Nope. We're there. It's happening.
Big savings are available with unlimited monthly car wash packages starting at just $15.95.
That's a hell of a glitch, man.
Or go to parkwoodautospy.com for more details.
See, here's the problem, though. If it is a glitch, nobody will believe it's a glitch because YouTube's been jacking with conservatives too much. Well, a lot of their content creators who are not considered family friendly, but they've thrown conservatives into that. So conservatives have been hit.
Because they just released, YouTube creators just released the whole thing about swearing and how you shouldn't do it within the first 30 seconds of your video.
Right.
They literally went peek behind the curtain, first 30 seconds, what advertisers look at.
Exactly.
So going to family friendly in those first 30 seconds, no one cares.
Yup. And good afternoon.
Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595. 95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send me a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. Okay. Was that? I'm going to talk about the YouTube thing because this is interesting. So some people are watching on the live stream, and you can watch on the live stream by going to youtube.com/Casey the host. Although I don't know that you're going to be counted. So go to youtube.com/Casey the host or facebook.com/Casey the host. So here's the deal. So over the past 3 weeks, my YouTube stream has steadily been growing. Okay. And I've told you before, when you get over certain benchmarks with your subscribers on your channel, you get more notice. The YouTube algorithm kind of boosts you. So what's that? Yeah, I tweeted at them. What?
It's not showing it. It's not showing the tweet.
Wait, hold. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I'm
Stop it.
Dead serious right now.
Stop. Hold on a second. I got to log into Twitter now. So anyway, I got over to 1,600 subscribers on YouTube, which is it's not a huge channel, folks. It's a pretty small channel, okay? But what we have had is we have steadily had over 50 people watching the stream. And so my average has gone from like 25 to like 48 over the past 3 weeks. And we've had more people as a result of YouTube's algorithm. The more people you have, subscribing to your channel, the more the algorithm pushes you. And the more people who watch your channel, the more you get noticed in the live features. So then, it's showing on my end. Did you go to tweets and replies? Go to tweets and replies. See if it's there. So on my end.
Okay, so it is there.
Okay, so it is there. All right. So there's no conspiracy there on Twitter.
But why is it not in like your basic tweets, like where it should be?
Because I was responding because I tweeted at Twitter or at YouTube on Twitter. So it won't go into it as a tweet. It'll go into as a conversation. So it's like
dumb. That's what
it is. Well, yeah, it's because Twitter is garbage. the whole platform of Twitter is garbage. Like the whole thing, the infrastructure is terrible. So anyway, okay, at least I'm not being censored there today. What will happen with Twitter is I'll get back up to 7,000 or 9,000 followers and they'll take 7,000 away again. That's usually what happens. This happened to me twice. I've gotten to 10,000. I've gotten to 9,000. They've taken 7,000 away each time. So I have over 50 people watching at any time on YouTube, right? So then all of a sudden people on the live stream are going, wait a minute, we're only showing like 2 people watching right now. And then of course, dramatically more people were commenting at that time. So clearly more people, I have 0 people watching the stream right now on YouTube's analytics. Is that what it has on you? So all of a sudden the analytics on YouTube says that nobody is watching the live stream. Which, of course, if you go watch the live stream, you can see everybody commenting on the live stream. Now it went back up to 1, but it hasn't gone over 2. So it's bouncing from 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, and then it went down to 0, and now it's back up to 1 or 2. So here's the thing. I would normally be inclined to believe that this is just a glitch, right? That the dozens of people that are watching right now on YouTube, that it's just not being counted for some reason, that there's some mistake happening in their code.
I would call it a glitch if it was like a couple people and not the entire
thing. Because here's what's going to happen. After we get done with this, YouTube then saves it to their system. It gets, sent as a normal video now. It gets uploaded to my channel as a normal video, and then it has how many views it's had, just like any other video would. So if you drop the number down of how many people are actually watching your video, all of a sudden it's not, oh, we got it up to 4 and then went back down to 3. I'm still showing 1 over here. So now all of a sudden it's not going to be registered in the algorithm anymore, and people aren't going to be able to find the channel or find the stream or find the video. And because YouTube has done this, they've done it to a lot of people, but especially they've been going after conservatives now for about 5 years. Since YouTube has been doing this, it's really not a tinfoil hat conspiracy to automatically think that they're throttling my channel. Because they have throttled my channel in the past. I mean, for crying out loud, I gave an annual Memorial Day speech and they demonetized it and censored it. And it was just a Memorial Day speech where there's nothing controversial in it whatsoever. So it's kind of interesting because you can see all of the people who are commenting right now, and it's just showing one person is watching your live stream. So, and there's 2 people in here watching it. And then you have all the people commenting. So clearly, Al says, because I talk bad about cats. I changed my Facebook cover photo to Curiosity Killed a Cat. So Mars Curiosity's laser deathing a cat on there. I thought that was pretty funny. So it's kind of interesting because we're sitting here and we're looking at this and we've got all these people watching the live stream and YouTube is not counting any of them. And it's hard for me to believe that that is a simple mistake just because of the trajectory of the channel as of late and given YouTube's history. I have to assume that this is being done on purpose. Do I have any proof of that? No. But given their history, you have to wonder, right? Okay, I'm going to tell you about the most ridiculous lawsuit you have ever heard of. And I have given you some whoppers in the past, including the lady who served Kraft Foods because their guacamole did not have enough avocado in it. So this is going to blow that one out of the water. Next on 95.3 MNC.
Yeah, it's been at 0 several times already on my end. Holy smokes.
Hendrickson.
And I've refreshed and everything.
Your breaking news and weather station.
I'm going to log out and
try and get back in.
And I'm going to go to live and see what pops up.
It'd be interesting. YouTube has never responded to me on Twitter. It'd be interesting to see if they came back.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialists 5-day forecast.
We end the week with a sharp drop in temperature, then slowly warm through the weekend. 15 on Friday, partly cloudy and breezy. The wind chill near or below 0. Lows single digits Friday night. Saturday, calmer, sunny, a high of 24, still cold. 32 on Sunday with a chance of snow showers by the afternoon and evening. Partly cloudy on Monday, 34. Could be a little messy by Tuesday as highs top out in the upper 30s. We'll see a chance of rain and snow as temperatures fall going into the middle of next week.
That's
in the ABC
a
57,
little hard to believe.
Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Boom.
Okay, but Susie, is that watching or is that likes?
Okay, so when I search you, your live stream should pop up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Are you serious? Oh my God, they are so blocking me. All right, so Casey Hendrickson, hold
When you go
on.
to your channel, you're there. Your live stream is up.
All right, so I searched Casey Hendrickson and it shows live now on my end.
Same thing.
But okay, so on their search results, it shows that one person is watching,
Michigan has a news channel.
which means you're less likely to watch.
Yeah.
Because, oh, there's only one person watching this guy. Who's this dude?
I'm sorry, what?
This is...
Oh, 45364. Put MNC at the top of that message so we know you're talking about us.
It's a notch above.
Total...
45364.
Total views for my video on analytics is 1.
Thank you.
Whether it's a small job or whether it's a
So not watching now, the total views analytics is 1. With 32 thumbs ups and 1 thumb down.
I honestly believe one of the most important things in business
Is it 33 now?
taking care of people, period. And
your widget
job, no matter how
And the widget died. Again?
From wraps to
Gee,
apparel and fleets.
that happened right on time.
Signs of the Times in Elkhart. Visit signsofthetimeselkhart.com.
Yeah, so on your profile, you're looking at the. Look at this. Okay, so as your your live video, that's just 2, and then in this it says 1.
Creations. They have an exceptional team of jewelers who have
Dude, they are jacking me. They are jacking me.
how special and unique they are with a one-of-a-kind custom.
This is the type of crap that conservatives have been talking about,
Also
though.
carries top brands like Simon G, Soho, Martha Seeley.
Maybe this plugin hasn't been the problem. Maybe YouTube's been killing the plugin.
Absolutely stunning piece.
That's why I always have to reset it.
Mammoth fossils and unique fossilized orange coral found in
Yeah, because my Videolytics plugin shows that I have 1 total view on this live stream.
Creations is made right here in the United States and not from China. So this Valentine's Day, impress with Impress Jewelry Creations. They're located at 1233 University Drive in the City Plaza, right next to Temple Grill and C. Kramer Interiors. You can also visit them online at Impress Jewelry.
This is so friggin' weird.
From C. Kramer Interiors. Why we carry the lines of furniture we carry? I believe in the quality. I believe that it's a value when you're purchasing something that's
So odd.
good quality. It can literally last you as long as you want to own it. The styling is typically a little more classic, so it's not going to.
No, this has nothing to do with my software because this is on YouTube's platform.
Yeah, made in America.
This has nothing to do with XSplit.
For the Mission collection, they use solid quarter sawn white oak or solid black cherry. In their modern collection, that's
Oh man, that is funny.
their upholstery is all maple frame, glued.
Like I said, it could be a glitch, but that's a hell of a glitch.
I don't think it is.
I mean,
I really don't think it is.
like I got Joe wearing tinfoil right now.
Oh, believe me, I know how bad YouTube is. YouTube creates
Oh yeah,
like
terrible. Yeah, I know. It was like a jackass.
Yeah, my point.
What do we do now?
People like that, and their tops are people who get a lot of subscribers, like 2 times. Unless you're like them, you get treated like crap. Anyway, 5850 again today.
Yeah, XSplit is connecting to the YouTube API, but the channel, all of you are not going through XSplit. So all of you are on the YouTube platform. So YouTube's platform shouldn't have a conflict with XSplit to register views. They're not with the thumbs ups. It's weird. It's very strange. All right, here we go.
I'm surprised it didn't kill any of your likes.
Huh?
I'm surprised it didn't kill any of your likes.
Not yet.
No.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3.
Michiana's news
channel. I am your host,
Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. So we have no idea what's happening with the YouTube stream, but this is weird. Could just be a glitch, but it's a whale of a glitch, if it is one. But, you know, and the thing, potentially what could have happened is somebody reported me. And so YouTube is now throttling the stream as much as possible in order to not have new people watching it. And they just haven't sent me a notification yet. What's that? The one person who disliked the video. I mean, it's possible. I mean, it very well could be that we've got YouTube Mafia dealing with this. But anyway, all right. So I wanted to get this story out here. This is what I promoted. And this is a heck of a story. So Raphael Samuel's 27 years old. And he is suing his parents. Now, he's suing his parents because they gave birth to him, quote, without his consent. Did I tell you that this was the dumbest lawsuit you've ever heard? And I mean, the Kraft lawsuit is a doozy. The guy who broke into the house but got stuck in the garage and then sued the family and won when they got home from vacation, that was a doozy. But this one, I think this takes the cake. He's 27 years old. On his Facebook page, he sends anti-nationalist posts to hundreds of followers. So clearly he's a liberal, but I don't know if that really matters. Oh, he's from Mumbai, so I guess he's, you know, their version of a liberal. But he believes it is wrong to put an unwilling child through the rigmarole of life for the pleasure of its parents. You know, there are some people who believe that the child's soul chooses the parents. And that the parents don't have any say in it. That the soul is like, I'm going to go there. Now, of course, a lot of you have had terrible upbringings. You're probably wondering why you would have picked that person. But, you know, maybe there's a greater purpose. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe it. But speaking to the prince, Samuel said, I love my parents and we have a great relationship. Not after this, you don't. But they had me for their joy and their pleasure. My life has been amazing, but I don't see why I should put another life through the rigmarole of school and finding a career, especially when they didn't ask to exist. Okay. Now, you think that's crazy, all right? So this guy's suing his parents because they had him without his consent. He thinks he has a good relationship with him. That's funny. This one, wait till you hear this. This isn't a lawsuit, okay? But I want you to hear this because you need to understand how crazy some people can be, all right? As a trans woman whose vocal cords were irreparably damaged by the harmful non-consensual puberty I was forced to go through by my transphobic mother, I could really do with fewer cis women gleefully retweeting this story and implying that they wish they had this condition. Huh? Okay, so now you've got a guy suing his parents because they gave birth to him without his consent. And now you've got a trans woman who says that they endured non-consensual puberty. Joe's hands are up. It's almost as dumb as the New Green Deal from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Almost. As that build trains across the world and ban airplanes. That's a whopper. Anyway, Bradford, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Hey, Casey.
What's up?
Just want to make a comment about the guy suing his parents for non-consensual birth.
Yeah.
See, in my opinion, not only he was the first sperm the only sperm to fertilize the eggs. So not only was it consensual, he won the competition.
Hey, that's true. He did. He fought against the other ones, right?
Correct. So technically, his parents should be suing him for being the first to win.
Because somebody who would have appreciated their love and affection could have won if he did not beat them off.
That is correct.
Yeah. I mean, let's just say that this guy wins. I've got an exit question here. Let's say this guy wins and sets off a precedent around the world, okay? Can a Joe's already groaning because he knows I'm going to step in it here. Can a dad who is being forced to pay child support for a kid that he didn't want then make the same lawsuit against the mom?
Well, technically, I would assume so.
I'm just asking questions, man. That's all I'm doing.
Wouldn't it be better to sue the kid because the kid is...
Well, yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah, I guess it could be. Well, I mean, if this kid establishes that the parents are the ones that are responsible, I guess, then if you're the dad, but you didn't want the kid to be born, and the mom said, no, I'm going to keep this child, then the dad would have to sue for non-consensual birth, and that would get him out of his responsibilities for child support.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm just like, I wouldn't support anything like that. I'm just trying to figure out where the legal angles could lie in the future. Because obviously the rules don't matter.
That's it.
All right, Bradford, appreciate it, bud.
All right, buddy, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
So non-consensual birth and non-consensual puberty. You know, to the trans lady, if you didn't want to go through puberty, you know you could have been a gymnast, right? Like that staves off puberty. Certain diets will stave off puberty, that sort of thing. But, you know, I guess you chose to go ahead and eat, you know, muffins and donuts and whatnot and normal food, and you ended up going through puberty. It's just crazy. She was upset that women were retweeting a Newsweek article talking about a bizarre ear condition makes women unable to hear men's voices, which, of course, men will tell you has been an issue for Eternia. Is Eternia a real word, or?
I think you're just trying to say eternity.
Eternity and millennia, and I mixed them all together because I have pneumonia, so shut up. I'm allowed to get away with
that. Hey, that rhymed too.
Yeah. Oh, and didn't know it. All right. YouTube's scamming me. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Patrick Hopman with a friendly reminder that here at Hopman Jewelers in Elkhart, we fix problems. Your problem might be a ring that doesn't fit. Too loose, too tight, we can make it right. Your problem might be you blew it at Christmas, getting her those jumper cables.
Snow shovel and blender.
It's a special world, man. No doubt about it.
From Hopman Jewelers. Think of us as headquarters for taking your disaster and turning it into of love and love.
And then tomorrow,
we get
steak and walleye. Oh, the walleye's good too. But also tomorrow we get to talk about why men are not performing CPR anymore.
Her jewelry into something new and beautiful.
Yeah, I'm still going to perform CPR.
Love to solve
but I also have a CPR mask, so that kind of helps me.
No problem. Just
got nothing to do with the mask.
Jewelers in beautiful downtown Elkhart.
WTRC-FM and HD1.
I saw a video today of a girl who got upset at her boyfriend. They were filming an attempted kidnapping. I think they were in New York. They were filming an attempted kidnapping. The guy was getting away. Her boyfriend gets out of the car, chases him down, helps hold him down, and she's telling him no the entire time. And as he has the guy on the ground and is holding him with a couple of other people, she goes up to him and pulls him off of the guy and pulls him away, saying, "It's none of your business." And then she posted it like, "Oh my God, I saw a kidnapping," not realizing, lady, you just advocated for your boyfriend to let a kidnapper get away. It's a hell of a video. I hope he dumped her ass.
If that would have happened.
Oh, I would have dumped anybody.
Oh, this is the fourth one today.
What?
CPR is mouth rape.
Mouth rape?
I believe, Alex, the word rape is on the automatic tag list.
Is it?
It might be. I don't know. For some reason, it didn't do it that time. I don't know what it is, but YouTube will automatically censor something to have the admin automatically put it in.
Okay, it's showing 2 people watching still.
I got 1 still.
Okay, so the comment that says he needs to be aborted. Now, here's a legitimate question. Since we're all about post-birth abortion now, can the parents countersue to kill him? if he sues the parents because he was born without their consent, can they sue to then end his life so that way they won't be continuing to commit the crime? I'm just asking questions, people.
The average smoker tries to quit up to 30 times. Many are looking for an alternative. Juul was designed by smokers.
I don't know what laws they have in India, but that is so something that I could see happening on a college campus here in the U.S. Are you kidding me? Just because it's in Mumbai doesn't mean that it wouldn't float across the pond.
Oh,
the lawsuit for the parents.
Make the switch at Juul.com. That's JUUL.com.
Wow. So, kind of interesting that that's happening on YouTube. So today, oh my God.
I don't know, because Casey also has some stuff that he has on the tag list, so I don't know what the list is.
I didn't make a tag list. I just did whatever they just said, hey, we'll hold some comments for approval. And I was like, turn on. That's that's all I did. I didn't do anything else. I haven't gone into the settings or anything.
I don't know the list. It's just like, because some stuff that was commented would automatically be like, this has been health manual review. Like, okay. I would read like, okay.
My mom says they can make him comfortable first. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh. Okay, I can't laugh anymore.
Oh, they changed the contact information.
Yeah, they did. Okay, I'm going to have to get out of here. It's going to be interesting to see the total views on this video later when it actually gets uploaded to my channel, because I am skeptical that they are going to erase all of my views. That's what I think is going to happen.
I don't think they'll erase all of them.
Well, they'll probably leave one or two.
Give you 100.
If they leave 100 on there, I would be impressed that they even left 100, which would be way down from normal.
Yeah, but
all right. 2 total views is what it says right now in my analytics. All right, I got to bounce out of here, and I got to finish some editing and then get home. So you all have a wonderful night. Thanks for watching. Do appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to have Polly Max in for taste test tomorrow. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. All right, you all take care.